Welcome back, everyone, to the Scale Riders podcast. Tonight, for episode 273, we have a special guest whose dedication to the craft has earned him recognition across the model building community. He is a scale model builder with years of experience, known for his detailed work and his commitment to traveling across the United States to support shows and connect with builders everywhere. I recently saw him at ACME in Atlanta, and I'm excited to finally bring his story and experience to the podcast. Please welcome to the show, Wes Salazar. What up?
Hey, how's it going, Edgar?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing good, bro. Doing good. Just chilling.
Awesome, man. Dude, thank you for coming back on. It's been many years, and I'm just glad that we're able to be back here, in the podcast, man. I mean, it's been a while, but obviously, we've seen each other from the last time we did a podcast, and not too long ago we were hanging out in Atlanta as well. And
Yep.
I wanted to start things off with that. I had questions for you regarding Atlanta.
hmm
How many times have you attended that show?
So this was my third year going to Atlanta. I think 22, I think was my first year. So it's got started going down there with a couple buddies out here. They finally convinced me to go down, and it's I love it, man. It's probably one of the best shows in the country, in my opinion.
Nice. And from like the first time when you went out there, was it something that like did you know what to expect?
Honestly, no. I mean, I've been to some big shows, obviously like In and Out West and stuff like that, Kansas City, Heartland Nationals, but didn't really know what to expect going down to Atlanta. I've seen pictures from it, and I've heard other people's experiences about it. But it was eye opening first time I went, bro.
Yeah. Damn, bro. Yeah, it's crazy because I know I didn't really say I was gonna go yet until like later, like, oh,
hmm
I'm gonna go. And then certain people were like, yeah, we're gonna be there too. And there were some people that didn't say nothing. It was like kind of like low key, it was like gonna almost be like a surprise or something.
Right.
And I was like, man, who else is gonna be there? So when I knew you were gonna be there, I was like, oh, dope. Like I just knew it was gonna be fun, like seeing a bunch of friends, especially, us flying out there from California. And then, you used to be out here in California too. And just like
Yep.
being able to like kick it with everybody, I thought it was gonna be super dope. And I would say like Dennis Matthews and George Vision 124 were like the ones who were like early on telling us, yo, you guys got to come out 1 year, plan it out, come out to the show. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Trust me, you're gonna be able to see styles and builds from other people. This way you come back home inspired and see what else, So it was fun, man.
No, definitely, bro. And I knew, like kind of like you said, a few people were coming out, and I wasn't exactly sure how many people were. And then when I ran into all you guys at the host hotel that night, it was like, dude, I feel like I'm back home in California, dude. Because I think there's like what 780 of you guys
Yeah.
that came out,
Uh-huh.
and
No,
it was
yeah.
just cool. It was just cool.
Yeah, for me it was a lot like getting there. I wanted to experience the whole thing, like
hmm
the registration, the host hotel, just the whole on experience. And that was one of the things Dennis had mentioned, like, yeah, you could register the day before, but there is
Right.
a cutoff time. And I didn't know about that. I was like, wait, what, a cutoff time? Like, what do you mean? So I've already had that in my mind, and I knew, all right, cool. So when we show up from the airport and everything, like just the way everything was timed up, I was like, man, I hope we don't miss any of that because I definitely want to experience that. So it was like after we ate food, it was like, all right, let's go over there. Let's go check it out right away. And once we were in there, it was like I felt like I was back in school, man, going on the computers and like filling in all the forms and everything. I was like,
Yep.
man, am I and kicking it with everybody else. I was like, damn, I do feel like I'm back in school, just messing around or whatever. And it was just cool, man, like seeing all that right there and seeing other people. I was starting to already be like, oh dang, we're here. Like we're here. It's like wake me up. Like, we've been thinking about this all this time when we're finally here. And it wasn't until Dennis is like, all right, now we got to go on the other side. That's where everybody's hanging out at the host hotel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, dope, and then that's where I saw you. And I was like, oh, shoot, Wes is here. George was there. Like everybody was there. It was super dope.
Yeah, it was crazy, bro. And I kept, running into, like, I saw certain people. I'm like, okay, cool. I know they're here. And all of a sudden I start picking out other people. Like, I didn't know David Champion was going to be there. I knew Frankie was going to be there, but, seeing Armando, all those guys, I'm like, what's going on, man? This is cool that all you guys are out here, you know?
Nah, yeah, man. It was fun. What other show from where you've traveled in the US is another one that, for us that we haven't been there, you recommend for us to check out or consider for like future?
So, I mean, there's obviously I've been to a lot of different shows, but probably one that I'm not gonna say people sleep on, but a lot of people probably haven't been to is the Heartland Nationals out in Kansas City.
All right.
It's in usually around June, end of May, beginning of June.
Mhm.
That's a really good one too, especially because it's one that usually attracts like 700 models.
Dang,
Um,
okay, that's a really good amount. I never really thought about that, as far as like the numbers, right?
mhm.
You find that out like after or the end of the show when they say, "Oh, X amount of models were here." And I wouldn't really like think about it. I would just be like, "Oh, cool, dope," you know?
R-
And
right.
now, like at the shows, I'm paying attention more. Like I see all the cars and then they say number and I'm like, all right, visually I could see now. Like that's a good idea of close to 1,000 and or 500
Hmm.
models and stuff. And now, obviously everybody when they hear big numbers, we get excited, like, oh, dope, but especially for the promoters, or the people organizing it, it's always a plus when every year that number just keeps increasing and increasing because it just shows there's a lot of support, there's more people coming out, and that's what's up right there.
No, definitely. And the thing is too, one thing I've noticed, especially the last few years, is the quality, not just the number of models, but the quality of pretty much all those models on the table has gone up tremendously. It used to be okay, you go to these big shows and you have a few names that stand out, their builds right away. But now it's like you're seeing all these builds from people you never even heard of or haven't seen before, or maybe their first show. But the quality is so high level now that it makes these big shows even better, in my opinion, because you got a lot
Mhm.
more competition and a lot more stuff visually to look at that it's just awe inspiring, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like now I could see what I need to do to learn. Like, what's the next thing I need to learn to
Hmm.
apply it to my builds? What's the next things I need to start paying attention to certain details to make my car stand out more, and and not just stay stuck to one thing. I don't want to just stay stuck to focusing just on paint jobs. Like that's it. No, I want to focus on the engine work, on interior detail. Like there's a lot of homework I have to do. On top of all that, there's also the manufacturing of like the type of presentation I want to give, the
Hmm.
surroundings of the model, what am I going to place it on, what's going to be around it, and also instead of, you know, thinking like, okay, well, the lighting at the venue is going to be great and it's going to shine on my car, like not depend on that, be more
Hmm.
about, all right, cool. I need to figure it out where I need to just basically bring my own kind of like small little lighting to focus on the car, and go from there. As far
Right.
as like for yourself, have you been kinda thinking about that too? Like the type of like presentation, or what is it that you want to do next to learn to make your models, take them to like another level?
So a lot of like I've always done like mirror stands and stuff like that for my cars, just to kind of one, elevate them, and two, so people can see the underside and all the detail underneath of that. But going to Atlanta the last few years has made me kind of rethink the display aspect of it. Like you just said, bringing your own lighting, bringing certain types of elements to kind of just make the model stand out more. And that's something I've kind of taken away the last couple of years, especially this year. With like a lot of the lowrider stuff that you guys brought out from California, but just some of the builders and stuff like that that are in that region down there. I've taken a lot of cues from their stuff, and it's like I got to work on trying to elevate my displays more. And I think some of those aspects with like bringing my own lighting, and then I mean, I even go as far as saying making my own type of display stands. It's at some point in time just to elevate that, you know?
Yeah. Nah, yeah, man. It's like even for the show, right? I was like, all right, well, as far as models, at first I really didn't even consider bringing any models. At first, I was like, all right, we're gonna go, and my mission is to meet people, record, take photos, and get content, and try to deliver like a presentation as far as the show, right? For those that couldn't go. And also
Right.
for me to all look back at and be like, oh, cool, for memories. And as time was going on, Luis was asking me like, "Hey, how many models are you planning on taking?" Then Armando, "How many models are you gonna take?" And then I was talking to my friend Solly Models out in Australia. He's like, "Hey, how many models are you gonna take?" And I was like, "I wasn't really gonna take any, but I think I'm gonna take one, maybe just one." I don't know. I was like, I don't really want to deal with the whole drama of traveling with my models on a plane because I don't
Yep.
even have the proper way to travel with them. They're gonna get jacked up. And the more that days would pass, Armando's like, I think he said he was taking like, I don't know, 7 or 8, something like that. And I was like, damn, that many? I was like, all right. So he got me hyped. I was like, all right, let me see what I have, right? So I started pulling out stuff like current things that I just finished that year or late last year. And I was like, man, I really need to clean these cars. Even though they've been in cases, I still need to clean them, you know?
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
I started just like dusting them off, putting the Maguire's compound and all this stuff, just cleaning them
Yep.
up, dude. Finally, I was like, all right, cool. Got them in the boxes. Let me start stacking them in the backpack. Did a little test fit. I'm like, all right, I think this should be good. And I was even going on your Instagram looking at your photographs because I know you post photos of your case, your traveling case. And I
Yep.
was like, oh man, I need to get one of those like for future, that what Wes is rocking right there. And
So,
where would you get
yeah.
that at? That case?
So that was actually a gift from my wife a long time ago before when I really started getting into traveling. It's basically just like a photography case. Like you usually carry like camera stuff in or any type of stuff like that, electronics, but it's just one of those, more solid like metal type briefcases that I just had my own foam inserts and I cut them out to different sizes to fit different models and stuff like that. Um, only downside is you can only bring 5 comfortably. I can say that, you're not really going to have any issues with that, which is good and bad because I mean, usually I don't want to deal with any more than 5 at a time for trying to register or anything like that. But it makes a big difference with traveling. I used to do like what you guys did with the backpacks and put them in the hard cases or the shoe boxes that a lot of people put their stuff in. And man, that makes me so nervous now, after using the case for so long, because I've never really had any issues with it. And then just it's just so much easier. And there's not a lot of worry you have to deal with because, you take it as a carry on and it either fits under your seat or in the overhead bin. I've done both with no problems. Sometimes you get some funny looks for people walking through the airport with it. Apparently, I'm a tattoo artist now from the last few shows that I've gone to because that's what people think I'm carrying in that case.
Yeah.
But
Oh, dang.
it makes a big difference, and I think you can find a lot of that stuff now, like on Amazon or I mean, even like Harbor Freight. I think carries some like cases like that you can use.
Yeah, they have one. My homie was like, "Go to Harbor Freight." I'm like, "Yeah, but the one they have there's for firearms." And I was like, "I don't want to look all suspect walking in there with it." No, I was like,
No,
"Nah, I'm good." But I gotta see. I gotta keep looking to see what else is out there.
yeah, I know what you mean, bro. It's the first couple times I traveled with it, I was kind of kind of leery about it. I'm like, man, what are they gonna do? They're gonna search this thing every time? Or are they gonna, just like pull me out of line? Like, hey, what do you got in there? And I mean, for the most part, TSA has usually been pretty cool. I mean, majority of the time they don't even look in it now. It could be because the fact that they're so used to seeing people travel with it now, or even myself, like, because it's all sticker bombed out, with everybody's Instagram tags on there. But it's just like I said, it just makes a big difference, and it's a lot less stress with traveling with models.
Yeah. That back then, I think when I went with Armando to Japan in like 2017, 2018,
Hmm.
I only took two models, but one of them was the 67 Impala. And
Oh
that
yeah.
one, I had a color bar in there with a little switch and a battery pack. And I remember I already knew, they always say, take out the electronics, like put your
Hmm.
laptops and phones and this and that over here. And I thought, oh, dang, they're going to tell me something about the model. I'm going to have to bring it out. I already packed it all well. I don't want to bring it out again. So then,
Right.
it got scanned. And then right away, oh, come over here, open up your bag. And I open it and they're like, we need to see what's in there. So now I had to unpack it and everything. And I think it took longer to put all that back together than
Hmm.
me putting back my shoes and my belt and all that stuff. Because in LAX, they make you pretty much take everything off back
Oh yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Now this time was different. I was surprised. This time it was smooth. They no shoes off, none of that. It was just like just throw some of the stuff there in the thing. All right, cool. You're go.
Yep.
And I thought it was gonna be drama. I was already thinking, dang, dude, like I'm dreading this. I don't know what it is, but I'm dreading the whole TSA process thing. And nah, man, it was smooth. Never once we had to take any models out or nothing. It was just like, all right, let's keep going. And even coming back, man, everything was super smooth with cars.
Hmm.
I did put it. I slid the backpack under the seat, and
Right.
I was just like guarding it. And there was some dude sitting next to me, and I already knew, oh man, if he gets up to use the restroom, like if he tells me, because he's in the middle, I'm on the edge, right by the aisle, and if
Oh
he tells
damn.
me,
Yeah.
hey man, can I use it? If I don't get that backpack first and then get up, if I get out first, I know him. As soon as he gets up, his foot's gonna step on that first box and just crush it, you know,
Oh.
because it's sticking out. So
Yep.
at some, so I made sure not to sleep or nothing. I was just like kind of guarding it. And every time he like move, he was making me flinch. Like, I was like, oh dang. Like I kept lifting
Oh,
up my leg. I was thinking, damn, is he gonna step on my foot? Like, what's gonna happen? Or the model, I was about to like, I would put my air in the foot, like, oh, I'm gonna like have to sidekick him or something, right? So then um I I ended up he did ask me, I was like, whoo, all right, this is at the very end. And I grabbed my backpack and then I had it up and then I'm like, yeah, go for it. And then I was just chilling, and people are looking up, like, "What is this we're doing, holding that backpack?"
right.
And then no, I'm just waiting for him, and then he comes back, and then I'm just like tucking it back in, and I just like sit down. He didn't say nothing, but I was about to tell him, "Hey, man, there's model cars in here, all right? Like,
Right.
I don't want him to get crushed."
Well, it's funny though. Probably you're raising more suspicion standing there holding a backpack with a plane, in the
Right?
air.
For real. I was like, "Dang!" Like people were like, What is this? What's this doing?" Like, when you're standing up, hey, that dude was tall though. Like,
Yeah.
man, that
Yeah.
dude was
No,
yeah,
it's
he would have smashed the whole model right there. And what can you do? Nothing. That's it. It's done.
dude. Trust me. I've been in some circumstances like that where it's been nerve wracking. Because people they don't know, or some people are just kind of careless. They're not trying to be, but it just happens. And yeah, that's usually, for the most part, that's why I try to get away with putting it under the seat. Okay, but if I can put it in the overhead bin to where, hey, it's got other stuff around it, so it's not going to get banged around or moved around too much, it usually works out that way too. But yeah, there's been a few instances where it's gotten knocked around, but again, being a solid case, it's usually a lot more durable. So
Yeah. Even Luis, like, he brought tools, and he brought like a small little bottle of the BSI glue, the CA glue.
right.
And it was all like, I don't know if it was in a little bag or a little case, but when we were in the hotel, he's checking out his stuff. I didn't see it, but he told me. He's like, dude, that glue got it on everything. So
Uh,
I don't know if mid-flight or something it expanded and it probably burst out of the bottle, you know?
yeah. The
And
altitude could have done something to that. The pressure in
yeah,
the cabin or whatever.
for real. And he's like, "Oh man, there's like glue on my tools and my stuff. I gotta like." And he had one of those. I think the worst was he has one of those anti-static Tamiya brushes.
Oh
And
yeah.
I think it might have gone on that too, because he was like, "Hey, do you have any?"
Oh
Like I'm like the one I have got damaged, and I'm like, "Oh no, don't tell me that."
right.
You know? Yeah,
Damn,
man.
bro.
Yeah, so I was like tripping out on that. But man, the show was just fun, man. Like being there, I was, blown away by seeing the models, all the cars, all the detail that was there. And just the whole vibe, man. Like you could just tell that everybody who was there at that show knows each other. Like this is their reunion. This is the time when they get together, you know? They make sure they come out. There was one dude who I saw a video on YouTube and he said he had already booked his like hotel already. And I was like,
Hmm.
damn, like that's dedication right there, of making sure that you're going to go to this show, and I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people like that are definitely buying their tickets and getting their stuff already pre-booked and everything to go. So, you know, there are some people that I got to speak with after
Hmm.
who were like, "Oh man, I wish I would have met you, or wish we would have had time to chop it up or something." I wasn't sure, and even me, like, there's people I feel the same way that I see on YouTube and in other social media platforms that were there, and I found out after because they posted up their content, and I'm like, "Oh, they were out there too, right on." So
Yep.
hopefully, next time, if things go good and I'm able to go next year, definitely would like to connect with them,
No,
and
for
see what
sure.
they
And that,
think.
and
But
that's one of the best things about those big shows like that, man, is it brings people from all over. And like you said, people you've only seen on like YouTube, Instagram, and then it's cool you finally get to see them in person. But we talked about this before, is, especially at bigger shows, the time just seems to fly, to
Mhm.
where it's like you're talking to people, then you go look at the vendors, you go look at the builds. Next thing you know, man, it's already time for awards, and you realize you didn't get to talk to like half the people you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know.
No, that's true, and it's like you're being pulled everywhere because it's like
Yes.
if you're like, "All right, cool. I'm by myself right now. Let me take photos, but let me get started on this side, right? Maybe in the
Hmm.
beginning or whatever." And you're making your way and you're taking your photos, but then you're gonna come across somebody. Someone's gonna be like, "Yo, what's up?" Or, "Hey, come here, I have a question," something.
Yep.
And or like there was a point like at noontime, it was so busy. Um, like if you were gonna be doing the rounds, you had to wait a little bit. You might
Oh
have
yeah.
to like go around a crowd of people, take some photos over there, and as soon as they would like bounce, you would come back now to the
Hmm.
same spot and look at everything. And I was like telling myself, all right, cool. I'm gonna start going live from right here and then all the way from over here. But the same thing would be happening. I would be getting pulled like, hey, come over here, or let's look at the vendors. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. So there was constantly, and then there was at some point where I even felt like too overwhelmed, bro. I was like, it was like overload for me. It was too much. I was like,
Yes.
I was like, okay, I'm pressuring myself to go live, right? Because I want to get everything, but then I want to record, I want to take photos, then I want to talk to people, and then I'm gonna go here, then I'm gonna go there. It was just too much where I started to feel like I started to feel dizzy, and
R-
even Luis was like, "Hey, do you feel dizzy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought I was the only one." He's like, "Nah, nah, I feel weird right now," and I'm like, "Damn, what's going on? Or is it the altitude? I mean, I don't know. I've never been here,
right.
I, was, I don't know. We were getting paranoid or something,
It,
and
it
and
it
then
gets
uh-huh.
overwhelming, bro.
Yeah, dude, it was too
It
much. And then
yeah.
finally I said, "All right, let me chill. Let me just chill." And then I kind of just had to chill for a moment. And then I started kicking with Dennis, and then Dennis is like, "Hey, you want to go get some food?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go get some food, man. I feel like I need to get out for a minute, like
Hmm.
eat, like recoup, rethink what's the game plan, and then let's go back in there, you know?"
Yeah. You need that halftime, like, step outside, get some fresh air, and just like you said, regroup. Because no, I've been there before, man. I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, it's not fun, but it's yeah, it's just you got to learn how to deal with it after a while, you know.
Yeah, dude. And there was the that booth, the Johan booth.
Hmm.
And there was two gentlemen right there. They were selling stuff, and I was like, I kept walking by there, right? And I'm like, all right, let me buy a shirt. So I get a shirt, and I keep going back, and something about those vintage boxes just
Hmm.
caught my eye, and I was like, man, I've never owned a vintage kit ever, like that old or whatever, right? And I
Right.
was like so tempted. I was like, oh, I want a kit. So then, I was hanging out with Juan, and Juan, I mean, hey Juan, sometimes you're a bad influence because I know you get the vintage stuff. And he was like, hey, that one's good. Or oh, look what I got. I found a 59 Impala, like a vintage. And I'm like, oh dang. So I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna get this kit. And then he had another one. And then I was like, all right, let me walk around, then I'll come back. And just
Right.
that, it was almost like I was giving myself anxiety, like thinking, oh, dude, what if I come back and they're gone? So then I just had to go back there and had to pull the trigger and get the kits.
Du-
And
Dude,
they're here now. So
yeah, I was gonna say that's the worst when you're going through, especially a big show. Like if you see something, man, it's almost like you just got to grab it as soon as you see it.
yeah, man.
Because you never know. Like you said, it's gonna be gone, or oh, let me wait 5 minutes. Let me look around. By the time you get back, it's gone, or somebody bought it. You know,
Yeah,
it's not.
dude.
It's overwhelming, dude, for sure.
Yeah. Right now as I'm looking behind you, obviously I can see your stash of kits, like all that stuff right there. So out of everything that's in that stash, are there any kits that are there that from you when you lived in California that you still have with you in that stash or no?
uh, yeah. I mean, this is not. This is only like a fraction of it, bro. I mean, there's a closet over here. It's filled to the top with stuff too. But
Oh
there's a
dang.
yeah. There's quite a bit, and I
Mhm,
do still have some stuff from California, man. Even down to some old starter projects from back in the day. But
mhm,
I'd probably said about maybe 20% of what I got is from California from back in the day.
mhm.
The rest of it because I sold a lot in Cali before I moved. There was no way I could take it all, and I needed the money at the time to kind of help with the move and stuff, and
Yup.
it so I sold quite a bit, but I kept certain things, and then I just kind of recouped stuff over time, and unfortunately not for the same price I paid for it back in the day,
Yeah.
but
For real.
it's I'd say probably I'm back up to maybe 500-600 models now.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. This is Jimmy's Chop Shop. He says a lot of my stash I bought from Wes. Right
Yeah, I'm
on.
sure a lot of people have, man.
That's crazy. Yeah, from so like, I was back then, you were out at Pegasus Hobbies. You
Hmm.
were a former employee, working there for many years. And when you're surrounded with, by so many kits and you see everything and you see the prices and are you kind of like desensitized in a way of like almost like not that nothing impresses you, but you're like, oh, cool, we got a huge restock of the 64s or the 63s or this and that.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of after a while. Yeah, it was like, okay, we're gonna get these back in, so I'm not too worried about stuff or getting this or getting that because I know it'll come back.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't a whole lot that, like, I guess shocked me, impressed me, if you will. Um, at that time, they weren't releasing a lot of super new stuff, kind of like what they're doing now, because like you got all the different design aspects and the different tooling aspects now that they can come up with so much different things. But it was cool just to see all the stuff that came in, and I'd have a little stash set aside sometimes that okay, I'm gonna go buy this after work one day or whatever, or come back on a day off or something like that. But
Hmm.
it was crazy though to see the prices of what things used to be
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah. That's pretty cool though. Like, let's say they get all, a shipment in of stuff and you're sorting through it because you're going to be putting it out. But then you could
Hmm.
always be like, all right, maybe I'll put these two aside for myself. I'll pick them up later or whatever. And, if you change your mind, you just put them back on the shelf.
Exactly. It was very hard to keep a paycheck from
Mhm.
working there, honestly.
Oh, I bet.
You
Yeah,
know, but
they're probably asking you, "Hey, Wes, before you get paid this weekend, do you want to get paid in kits, or do you want us to waste a check and print out a check?"
I think Joe kind of asked me that a couple times, just
Mhm,
out of fun, because there was a few times where it was like, oh man, I got a freaking stack of 5 or 6 kits over here I need to buy, but
mhm.
I need to wait till I get paid. But what's the difference? You know?
Yeah, for real, because you're gonna end up bringing it back.
Oh yeah.
The one thing I liked was the display of models. Like having that case with
Hmm.
models on display right there, and because it was just something where like as customers, you go there, you see the models, and then you're thinking to yourself like, oh man, look at that one. Like I'm hoping to build something like that or whatever. You get inspired, and then you come back and you're like, you know what, the kit's right there. I'm just gonna get it, and kind of go from there. So in a way, it's a good way to showcase, but it's also a good way for like to kind of like market a kit for
Oh
someone to
yeah.
buy.
Yeah, definitely. And it was a cool way to show people what could be done to a model, because there were a lot of models in that case that were like highly detailed and stuff like that. And you'd have people that were either new to the hobby or they've been in it for a minute in a while, but they haven't really like explored the detail aspect of stuff. And it was kind of cool to be able to show like certain models, even though some of them we didn't know who they were built by because they've been in there for so long, but show them, hey, this is what you can do, or these are the type of parts you can use. We either have them here or get them. I don't know if too much was online back then. I mean, that wasn't that long ago, but it was just cool to kind of inspire people in the hobby and get them more involved with it, because there was a lot of people that I talked to, and it opened their eyes really to what could be done.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you guys had customers coming in, right? Like bringing in kits. Maybe they were like stuck on something, or hey, what do I need to do to like, make this model better, or what kind of wheels do you recommend for this kit right here?
Yeah. Oh
Things like
yeah,
that.
no, there was quite a few people, whether repeat customers or new customers, that Joe and I were always the two go-to guys for cars and stuff like that. And after a while, I started feeling like a design consultant almost, because
Mm,
hey, what colors go with this, or like you said, what wheels, or this and that. And it
mhm.
was fun though, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's see. Let me pull this up. Pegasus meats were great as well. Did you partake in those in the meats?
Yeah, those were back when I was working there. That's when they had it more steadily. I think it was every third Saturday or something of the month, and it was cool, man. It was after hours, so the store closed, but they still had a cashier there, so you could still buy stuff. Just
Mhm.
on the hobby side, but it was cool, man. I think at the height of it, there was, I mean, we'd have anywhere between 20, 25, maybe 30 people in there.
Damn, that's a lot of people for sure.
It Oh, definitely. It was cool, man, because everybody bring out their stuff that they're either working on or finished, or and it was just a more chill environment, not so much like a show that you feel like you got to look at everything and you're overwhelmed, but you could just talk to people and just like, oh, hey, how'd you do this, or oh, that's cool, or I didn't think about doing that, and it was cool. And I know after I left, they kind of died out a little bit, or they slowed down, and I know. I think Alan Gonick was trying to bring them back a few years ago after COVID and stuff. And I don't know if they're still doing them right now or not, but they were fun definitely back in the day.
Yeah, shout outs to Alan. I saw him not too long ago at the NHRA museum.
Hmm.
He was there at the Spirit of Speed. But yeah, you're right. Like after the pandemic, I remember getting like some like invitations, or he would just post that they were gonna be getting together at Pegasus. And then as time went on, he would like kind of keep me in the loop with
Hmm.
those. But I never got to go to one like after, because I think I know for sure it had to do with like the distance at the time for me to be able to go out there. But now, I
Right.
mean, it's not Pegasus isn't that far now. I think I'm a little bit closer now. It's from before, from how I
Hmm.
was back then. But yeah, man, that's cool. You know that he tried to do it. I mean, I don't know right now. Maybe they're still doing them or not. You know, but it seems like a really cool idea to get people to get together.
Oh yeah, like I said, it's a chill environment, and you're not pressured, I guess, from like being at a show, that type of stuff. You just bring it up and just kind of, like you said, it's real chill, man. Just real laid back. I wish more places did it. Um, we actually do. As a matter of fact, speaking of that, one of the hobby shops out here started like their own little club type deal. It's everything. It's not just cars, but we meet once a month, like on a Tuesday or a Thursday, and we usually it's pretty cool too. It's something similar to the Pegasus stuff, but not exactly the same.
Mhm. Right on. And as far as the like the types of builds on these meetings, like everyone is pretty much across the board, right? Like all different styles and different genres of builds. It's not just like, oh, this meeting is just strictly lowriders. You know, it's like a mix of everything, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, exactly.
That's
Like
dope.
I mean, for most of the stuff out here, there's a lot of military guys, a
Mhm.
lot of IPMS builders, a lot of armor, aircraft, that kind of stuff. There's obviously a lot of car guys too, but when they started doing these meetings, I was kind of one of the first car guys there, and then it as more and more people started coming. They're like, oh, it's not just for military. It's like, no, it's open to everybody. I mean, Gundam, any of that stuff, man. It's all one hobby. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's cool. It's really cool.
No, that's awesome, man. You know, Wes, I want to dive into this segment right here. This is regarding your 1959 El Camino. For everybody, this is a new model that Wes busted out with. I got to see it in person there at the ACME show. So let's pull it up right here and tell me about this model.
Yes, the infamous 59, El Diablo Rojo or Roja. They so it started out as a build. There's supposed to be a build off between me and Jesse from Texas for the dedicated, or not dedicated show, excuse me, the Texas show, Plastic Society, back in October. And so it started literally a year ago. We're like, hey, we want to do a build off between the two of us, and we want to pick the similar kit, and we agreed on the 59. And you know how it goes. You say it a year in advance, and then 4 months, 3 months before the show, you're like, damn, I got to get started on that. And it just kind of was one of those things. I'm like, okay, I gotta get moving. So I think I started towards the end of July this year, and I've always liked the El Caminos, especially like the 59s, the 60s, but trying to find a 60 that's not a old, you know, promo kit or something that you got to do a lot of work to is hard. So I decided on the 59 from AMT, and it was one of those things. It's like you gotta, like we talked about earlier, you gotta find a way to kind of enhance it and elevate the build. So first thing I did was literally scrap the entire chassis from under it and put a Revell 59 Impala chassis under it. Give it the full suspension detail. You can separate parts that you can paint and detail. So I was able to chrome a lot of stuff and do a lot more detailing than I would have if it was the AMT chassis. Um, which there was, contrary to what people think, because it's a 59 and a 59, they don't just go together. There was a lot of cutting and splicing and shaving stuff to get it to fit, but surprisingly enough, the Revell 59 chassis fits very well underneath that kit, without really a whole lot of modification to the actual length or the width of it, so to speak. And it just kind of snowballed into that. Obviously, I wanted to do a lowrider version of it, and it was kind of a no brainer because I went to Gavin Lowrider Model Car Parts, for a lot of his stuff, the batteries, the whammy setup in the back, the wheels, and then like the cooler in the photo that you see there, that's collaboration, Detail Junkies parts, and a lot of other little things. The battery terminals were 3D printed by a buddy of mine out here in St. Louis, and it just kind of all fell in place. The color scheme was one of those things that took me one of the longest things to figure out, because it's a two-tone car. It's got to be a two-tone car, in my opinion. If it's a 59, it's got to be a two-tone. And I was like, well, I want to do another red car. I haven't done a red car for a while. And I was looking at a lot of paints, a lot of colors. Couldn't find nothing I liked, and finally ended up settling on the color you see on that's Candy Merlot from Tropical Glitz, and over a gold base. And then it was kind of a back and forth. I collaborated with Al Camacho on it quite a bit, because I was stumped. I'm like, I don't know what other color to do with this, man. I wanted to do like a metallic gray at first. Did a couple test shots, and it didn't quite look right. So I just eventually, I don't like doing solid black paint jobs. Usually don't have a whole lot of luck with them. Plus they're, they show everything. So it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fell into place where I was like, you know what, I got to do black on it, black roof, black fins. And it just kind of fits with the overall theme of the car. And it just, luckily, I mean, it came out really nice. It polished out really good. And then one of the other twist aspects of this build, so, a lot of lowriders, they'd either stick with the stock motor that comes in a kit. So like that, a 383 or something like that. I changed it up and I went with a straight 6. Just to throw everybody a curveball. I got to thank Al for that idea too, because I was stumped on the motor. I was like, man, I don't know. I could do a LS. I could do, another like a 383 or 454, and kind of like, well, why not do a straight 6? And yeah, that surprisingly it fit really well. It needed a little bit of modification to stuff. I had to make new motor mounts and everything, but it fits in there really well, and it just kind of gives it a different overall vibe, But and then the usual stuff too, like on the interior, it's got Detail Junkies parts like the switches and everything, and photo etch seat belts and steering wheel. Just it all came together in the end. I did debut it at the Plastic Society show in Texas back in October, and where it did end up taking best of show out there, which I was surprised, honestly. There's a lot of talented people out there and a lot of fantastic builds. It's plus it was a little nerve-wracking because I finished that the night before the show at my parents' house in Texas.
Dang, that's dope, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's it was cool, man. It was it's awesome when all the hard work that you do, it pays off, in the end and stuff. And the funny thing is all those photos that you're showing right now, those are all my my parents' countertop at their house in Texas. I didn't have a photo backdrop to like I do here to take studio shots, so the countertop was the next best thing.
Hey, it works. It looks clean. It definitely makes the model stand out and pop. That looks really good right there.
Thanks,
man.
bro. I appreciate that. There's a reason I call it the Red Devil. Trust me. All the headache it gave me, but it was worth it in the end. And I love the one, from Atlanta. It got a lot of looks down there too, but the photo you took of it in Atlanta with the way the lighting and just the way it looks, bro, that's one of my favorite photos of that car. Honestly.
Oh, dang. I don't know. Did I sent them to you, right? If not,
yeah, because I think I ended up sharing it or posting it or something, but dude, just the way, the angle, the lighting, you took the photo, the car looks fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh
No,
yeah,
you get it,
nah,
bro.
man. Yeah, this car was beautiful, bro. Like seeing it there at the show, I was like, oh man, like Wes is killing it right here. And I just knew, man, because every time you bring your builds, it's not just like a static kind of build. It's like I know you're gonna be putting in tons of detail into it, especially the engine and the interior and all that. So that's what's
Hmm.
up right there, man. I could tell you're like, all right, once you finish one, you're moving on to the next, and then you got to look through. I'm assuming like all your detail parts. You're like, man, I'm running out of stuff. I need to re up, or get all these things because you're using all that stuff on your builds.
Oh yeah. And the thing is like, especially that's the first, not the first, but first time in a long time that I've done a big battery setup like that. So I wanted to make sure I had all the terminals and wired everything up. And I ain't gonna lie, man, like 2 weeks before the show, before I left, I'm like, I don't have enough terminals for this, and I don't have time to go buy any because
Mhm.
nothing that looks realistic enough to me. Because the photo etch ones are cool, but they kind of lack dimension. You know,
Mm.
little flat. I mean, I know you can make them look good, but I didn't have time to try to do that for six batteries. So
Yeah.
seven if you
Dang.
count the motor one. But so my buddy actually has a 3D printer out here, and he's like, dude, if you can find a file, I'll print them for you real quick and get them done. So now I got enough battery terminals to last me probably for the next 2 years. But
Yeah. Yeah, you have a grip now. Man,
yeah.
that's cool. The next model I want to bring up of yours is the 911, the Porsche.
Hmm.
So let's pull this one up to the
The,
stage here.
the work in progress.
Yeah,
Yep.
tell me, give me like an update on this build right now. What are we doing to it?
So this was another build that was supposed to be done for Acme because this was kind of the collaboration with another collaboration with Splash. Sam sent me the kit and it was supposed to be done for Atlanta, but life gets in the way, unfortunately. But it currently right now the car. So in that photo, it's not clear coated. I just got done doing the decals, the carbon fiber, and everything, and now it's clear coated. It's waiting. I still got to polish it out a little bit, but interior's about 90% done, I want to say. And then yeah, some of the early shots of the interior, um, the carpet kit, everything in there. It's got a lot of the hobby design photo etch parts, so pedals, uh, shift levers, and the chassis is going to have like all the photo etch brakes and everything on it. A lot of little tedious parts, but it's close. Yeah, the seats there, they got all the carbon fiber on the back, which wasn't easy.
Hmm.
But so far I'd say the kit's probably, I don't know, maybe 60% done right now.
Nice. Yeah, it's coming together. I was gonna ask you for the interior, that
Hmm.
carpet, is that the one a Zoom on made that's like
Y-
pre-cut?
yes, that
Nice.
is the one that Zoom on made. And honestly, bro, it's phenomenal. It's self adhesive. It goes on real well. It's die cut specifically for the kit. I know they got
Yeah.
several others for other different cars, but
Yeah.
I mean, it fit beautifully, and I could have never have gotten flocking to look that good, honestly.
Mhm. No, yeah, it looks clean, bro. Yeah, I I wasn't carrying any other stuff as of late because they had announced that they weren't shipping anything over here or whatever. But
Hmm.
just recently, I went on their account and it said that now they were. So
Oh, okay.
I'm like, all right, cool. So next year, do expect pretty good size restock on their stuff because I'm like pretty much like not I don't really I only have as a small amount of wheels, but the carpets though were dope. I really like the
Hmm.
carpet.
Oh yeah, and I need to get some more too for like some of the other cars that they make it for, because that was the first time using it on that Porsche, and it got me hooked on it. So now I want to try and get it for some of the. I think I got a lot of the kits that they make it for. So
Yeah. And then as far as the carbon fiber that's on this car, is it also a scale motorsport?
So the carbon fiber is actually from SK decals.
Oh, no way. They did one also.
Yeah, they did
Like,
a full
dang.
full carbon kit for it. So the hood, the roof, the seat backs, um, a lot of the other stuff like the roll cage and all that stuff. They make all the carbon fiber cuts for it. Um, the Tamiya stuff that comes in the kits is good. This one to me looks a little more realistic, if you will, with the twill design. And goes on like a dream. I mean, it takes a little bit of work, to obviously get carbon fiber to lay down right, but you just got to be patient with it, and it it laid out really well, and I'm happy with it. But yeah, SK decals. I got a lot of the stuff that they made for the GT3.
Nice. Yeah. I just remembered right now. You were talking about the PE. Is that also the Zoom on PE set that they released for this kit?
No, the photo etch kit for that is from Hobby Design.
All right,
So,
man. They're like neck on neck, man.
oh yeah, yeah, they're right there with each other, and
Mhm.
I mean, I think I don't know if I remember offhand. I think the Hobby Design one might have a few more parts in it as far as photo etch goes, but I know they're both really close on that. So,
Yeah. Yeah. The a while back when I had built my Liberty Walk GTR, the R35,
hmm
I did end up picking up the Aoshima PE set.
hmm
And I did end up using a lot of those parts, and I was just like, I was hooked. Like, once I started using like those sets to implement in the car, I was like, oh man, disc brakes now. I don't think I'm going back whenever I'm gonna do, like, especially like a JDM or a high-end kind of type of car
hmm
model, or like a Lambo, big old wheels. You want to have some disc brakes in there, so it just gives it like this nice detail. Like, it's really
hmm
hard to go back, and
No, definitely.
it's awesome, man. Earlier you were saying how now you're going to the shows, and the shows just keep elevating, right?
hmm
And a lot of this credit is to a lot of these companies that keep cranking out these detail parts and photo etch, and people that are coming out designing stuff to get 3D printed, and all these things. Like, everything that we want is here, and it's coming out. Who
Oh yeah.
knows next year what's going to drop that we probably don't even know. We're going to be surprised and shocked. Like, check it out, something new.
No, definitely. And I mean, to look at where we were, I mean, because obviously I've been doing this for quite a while, but to see where stuff is now versus like when I first really started getting into building for shows and stuff like that, it's amazing. I mean, like you said, everything's basically at our disposal now, and with the evolution of 3D printing and the making it the 3D printing getting a lot better now too. It's like sky's the limit at this point,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, I've been I was talking to my homie, and I was telling him, man, I've been kind of backtracking. Like, I'm trying to find out. I'm kind of on a mission right now, like on a journey of wanting to find out, like, how did this all originate from? Like,
hmm
what year? Because I was telling my friend, I was building model cars when I was in junior high, 95, 96, around there. And, you know, that was like, as a kid, like, building models. But
hmm
I didn't know how far back, right? I assumed, oh, maybe the 80s. I guessed, oh, the 80s, maybe the 70s, right? And then
Right.
now I'm like, wait a minute. I came across a magazine that's from the 60s. And I'm like, what? And then I'm like, I'm gonna order that. So I get it in hand. I start flipping through the book, and I'm
hmm
like, my mind is just blowing up. I'm going, wow, like, this is like before my dad was born. Like, I'm not even like alive at all, nothing, right? And I'm thinking, damn, if these dudes were doing this at that time, and it's like, what inspired them, and then I
Right.
start thinking about, like, well, for sure the 101 cars, they're seeing that stuff, because a lot of these magazines are one to one, car magazines, but then they started giving you 16 pages or 8 pages or 4 pages of model cars.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh shoot. Okay. So then there's also there's a connection with slot cars as well.
Yep.
And just today, bro, I got this one issue. Watch, I'm gonna show it you right here. I just got this one. This one comes from 1964.
Oh, damn.
Let's see right here, 1964. This is it says Revell Pectra Model Championships. So this
Oh,
whole
wow.
issue, it's like when you look at the contest issues,
Hmm.
like right
Yeah.
now, it's like the same thing, the same kind of
Oh,
style,
wow.
but in black and white. It's watch. There you go.
Oh, wow.
But
Okay.
like a lot of details, bro. Oh damn, my camera's acting funny. Hold on. Let's see. My camera tends to follow me. Hold on, let me shut this off. I think it's because I must have gave it like the sign language because it has like the I don't know the AI stuff in there or whatever. But let me see. Watch. Let me try to look for a page here because so this is like regional winners from different states, different areas, right? And you're seeing.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me go this way. This way. All right. Cool. Sorry. Here. Let me
Oh,
let me do
wow.
some. Let me for everyone that's viewing real quick. I'm just gonna zoom in on myself right here so you guys can kind of see what I'm showing you right here. And I like it gives you the name, it gives you the age of the people. There's people that are 18, 30 years old. This dude built this car and he's 11 years old. And I'm like,
Oh,
what? Some people are 15 years old and doing straight up customs. And I'm like, damn, like what the hell? Like I'm just tripping out, dude. Like just looking through the whole book. So this is one that I got, right?
mm-hmm.
Then I got this one. This one right here. This is like look at this.
Custom model. Oh, wow.
All the secrets of channeling, chopping, sectioning, painting, styling, putting, detailing. Right?
Dude, that's awesome.
I'm like, secrets? What secrets? I thought I already knew everything. Now I'm playing. Oh, this was a cool page right here. This one has like all the built engines right there, all in
Oh,
chrome.
damn.
It's black and white, but you could tell that these
Yeah.
were chrome photos,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Dude,
Oh,
that is
but check
freaking
it.
awesome.
So in the middle of it, they do give you like 2-color page. Look at that.
Dude, that is freaking sick.
So that's that page, and then the back one, they have this one here. Sorry guys, I can't even look at the camera. I'm just like throwing it up right here. But there's like some custom stuff in here though that I'm like, whoa, like what the hell? But this book it's a tutorial. It shows you everything from chopping to hinging, the models, just
Nice.
a lot of stuff, bro. So to me right now, I'm like, wow, right? So I don't know, man. I mean, this is from the 60s. A lot of these guys were young at this time. I don't even know if they're still alive or not. But man, if they're not, RIP to them and thank you, for putting out models, being part of the hobby and just doing your thing, man. And I'm gonna look through those books because I do want to recognize names. I want to recognize stuff and like put it out there and share it. I'm hoping to like share it with everybody in the future, like show more of the mag, like check it out. Let's flip through the pages and let's see
Yep.
what's up with the magazine, man, because there's a lot of stuff in there, bro. But there's still more stuff that I'm like waiting on to get. So little by little, dude. But I know that so far I'm in the 60s kind of peak, but I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
go backtrack even more before that. And sometimes like some people will chime in on Facebook and kind of hint at something or tell me something. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, all right, that's a clue. And it starts to kind of take me down another rabbit hole. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe little by little, I'll figure it out that I'll be able to like present it or something to everybody.
That would be cool, bro. I mean, kind of like archiving all the stuff from way back in the day,
Yeah,
you know?
man. Yeah, because there's obviously a lot of vintage kits,
Yes.
and that's another one. It's like sometimes, like at Acme, there was a vendor who was selling like stuff, right? But then he had a little display, and it wasn't for sale. It was just
Mm-hmm.
for people to see. And in that little display case, he had like little like vintage glue bottles, paint bottles, and just
I
like a
remember
lot of
that. Yeah.
things from back then. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, like how dope would it be to get that? Like things like that, right?
Right.
Not to use, just to have and like to preserve, to be like, like, look, this is from back then, you know?
So it's funny you say that because do you remember the GSL show that used to be in Utah?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that one?
I never went to it, but I do remember like hearing about it.
Okay, so I managed to go to the last. That was my first one and my last one because it was the last one they did 2 years ago, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
And they had the model car museum out there.
Mm.
And bro, just like you're talking about with like stuff from way back in the day, even like 60s, some 50s stuff, they had everything there, whether it was kits, whether it was built models, like diorama displays, any of that stuff, uh, even old, like down to old paints from
Man.
back like in the 50s and 60s, bro.
Hmm.
And it was like you just said, I mean, insane to see the stuff they had back then and what they used, and some of the models that were built. That was true scratch building for a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
because obviously there wasn't 3D printing or any of that stuff back in the day.
Hmm.
But it's cool to see that history, and like it just blows your mind. And I don't know, I heard something recently. I think they're moving the museum somewhere now that the GSL is gone.
Yeah.
I think they want to try to move it somewhere where more people can go and see it. But if you ever get a chance, bro, like if it ever reopens up again, that'd be somewhere cool for you to check out.
Yeah. Man, I didn't know about that. Yeah, I'm sure that must have been like a really big attraction every year, like people coming to the show and then they go
Hmm.
there, you know. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff, bro. Like these are watch, I have like a few more. But
Okay.
it all started with when I got this one. I got my hands on this little book right here. This is a
Oh,
pocket
nice.
size, and it's the whole book, bro. It's all just pages and pages of models. It was 35 cents back in the day, and the same thing: how to putty to paint, hard tops, rag tops, engine detail, body
Hmm.
sectioning, and then this one here. And then I tripped out on the size. I was like, wow, this is a small book. I could imagine a kid back in the day having this, folding it, rolling it up, putting it in their back pocket, whatever, going to go play, and then coming back
Right.
looking at it, and then doing their thing. And then this one's a lot bigger, but
Oh,
this right
wow.
here, this one is called the AMT Model Car Handbook, and it has a
Really?
lot of articles and a lot of things. George Barris, from what I'm learning, I know, George Barris.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's known for the 1-to-1 and all this stuff. But
Right.
from what I'm learning is like, dang, he's a huge advocate for model cars. Huge,
Oh, yeah.
like, he did the collabs with AMT, but also he's in a lot of these books. And I'm
Hmm.
like, dang, like he was just promoting it hard. This other
Yeah.
one right here, the big
Oh,
book
that's
of car
sick.
modeling, the same thing, how to's, a lot of how to's right here. They break it
Hmm.
down. And man, when I'm flipping through these pages, man, I'm like going slow. Like I don't want to rip the spine, I'm like, I gotta try to keep these as clean as possible.
What was I say? Where did you end up acquiring those? Because they look like they're damn near mint condition, bro.
Yeah, no, this one was mint. I got this one on eBay, this one right
Okay.
here. But
Okay.
there was like 4 listings. Some of them were written on like damage and everything. And I was
Hmm.
already like, all right, should I buy the cheap one that's damaged? Knowing that later it's gonna bother me and I'm gonna be like spending more money. Like I should have just got the one that looks kind of mint. So
Hmm.
then I was like, all right, I'll spend a little more money for the nice one. And I ended up getting it. Luckily nothing happened in the mail. Like everything just like, whew, it's here. Open
Yeah.
it carefully, and then I'm just gonna put it away, and I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna enjoy it for as long as I can. And maybe in the future, I don't know, 10, 20 years from now, if I meet somebody else who's like archiving stuff or whatever that's like hardcore into modeling, I'll be
Hmm.
like, bam, here you go, bro. I'm gonna bless you with this. And this is from the 60s. So take it into the next whatever, next 100 years. I don't know.
Right.
Like, don't get rid of the book. Anything you
No.
do not get rid of it.
No. I mean, that's history right there. I say
Yeah.
I got some old magazines too, but nothing that old. That'd be cool to have.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be cool.
I'm kind of on the hunt now for like wanting to find like the first issues of like Scale Auto.
Mhm.
I think it was called like Model Journal. Like
Yep.
there's a lot of books that I didn't even know about. And I'm like, oh man, like here we go. Like I know I'm gonna end up spending a ton of money on these books, dude. Like, I mean, I'm not in a rush, but
Right.
man, I already know myself, bro. Once I start collecting and I start getting into stuff, it's just like it's gonna go in deep,
It
bro. Like just diving
it,
into
it
that world.
it's a downward spiral once you start collecting anything, bro. It's
Yeah, man.
trust me,
It,
I know. You
it's gonna
know.
happen.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. I'm gonna pull up another thing right here. I didn't know about this, bro. I didn't know you were doing the diecast. Let's see. Let's see. Let's check it out right here. Tell me about this.
Nah. All right. So this is more of a recent thing. Let's see. I forget when I started getting into this stuff, but I've always background real quick is I've always collected Hot Wheels ever since I was a little kid. Not to sound like crazy or nothing, but I probably got somewhere between 5 and 6 thousand Hot Wheels.
Damn.
Yeah. Hell, half of the walls in my basement right now. I've actually been working on that project, but that's a whole different story. Um, so I got a bunch that were, I played with when I was a kid or beat up and stuff like that. And I've always been seeing, especially on like Instagram and YouTube, people that are restoring these things or customizing them, and it's like, I got some of this stuff. Why don't I give it a shot? So that one there, an old Ferrari, the picture that is with both of them is actually what it looked like before I painted it and did all the stuff to it, painted the interior, swapped the wheels, did all that kind of stuff. Um, that's what it looked like from Hot Wheels from Mattel originally, and then that's my version of it with tropical glitz paint and detailed interior, all that kind of stuff. Different wheels swapped over to it, but it kind of, I don't know, how you get in kind of like a slump sometimes with building, you feel like you just need to change it up, do something a little different. That
Mhm.
that's kind of where I went with the why I started doing the 64 scale stuff, because it's something different. It's cool, and bro, it's a whole nother world too. Like the model cars, 124th, 25th scale, that's a world in its own. But the Hot Wheels it's a whole different ball game, and it is just kind of something that I don't know. I got really hooked on, and around my bench now is probably just as many Hot Wheel 64 scale projects as there is 25th scale stuff. So
Yeah, let me pull up this project right here. This one looks pretty dope.
yes, the M2 dually. So that's again, a lot of people started following a lot of people on Instagram that modify 64 scale stuff like M2s and all that. Forgive me, I'm still kind of new to following certain people with that, and so I can't remember everybody's name exactly at the moment. But there's a dude, I think it's Aloha Customs, I think on Instagram is his name. He does a lot with the M2 stuff, and started seeing a lot of his work, and I'm like, dude, that's freaking awesome. And just had a few of those lying around too, and started, working on it and kind of mock it up to where it's at that point. The one big difference with doing 64 scale and anything diecast really is you got to learn how to strip the paint.
Oh yeah.
It's that not that it's something hard to do for me, because obviously I work with one-to-one stuff, so that's not that big of a deal. But it's different when it's 64 scale, just stripping it down, sanding it, making sure you got all the little details taken care of before you go to repaint it, or you don't lose any detail. And then working with metal versus plastic, I'm using a lot more like files now, like metal files, that kind of stuff. Um, but then just like we were talking about earlier with the parts, like different companies and stuff, different people doing stuff. Like the wheels on that dually there, they're from RPX1. Phenomenal wheels. Just one of the many companies I've found in 64 scale, that they doing phenomenal stuff. I know Jeff JPS is doing a lot of 64 scale stuff now too, and beautiful sets of wheels from him. But it just like like you said earlier, you kind of start doing different things. You dive down a rabbit hole. That's kind of what happened to me with this stuff.
Mhm. No, yeah, dude.
You
Yeah,
know,
because
and that
I was tripping. I was like, oh damn, these are clean.
thanks, bro. Yeah, that's one of the recent ones there that I've been posting the last couple posts. Just a car that I bought off eBay that was all dinged up, and I should have sent you the before photos, but it was all chipped up and not looking too good. So I'm like, I'll swap out a set of wheels. To give a shout out to Car Things on Instagram. Those are a set of his wheels on there. But that one's ready for paint. That's another M2 dually that's already been painted. I forget whose wheels those are on that one, but it's just it's I've been having a blast with the 64 scale stuff and getting to talk with Juan at ACME, because he's done a lot of the really full customizing stuff, like the Pink Lady, the Volkswagen Bug, and
Mhm.
all that. And just I haven't gone as far as to start opening stuff on 64 scale. It's still kind of a new territory to me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I've been having fun with it, man, and just
Mhm.
they say as you get older, you're supposed to start building bigger models. Well, I'll start going the opposite direction. So,
Yeah. Have you picked up any of those cartoon cars?
oh yeah, that's
I
that
got you.
yeah, that collecting bug you were talking about earlier. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very prevalent with those too. So I pretty much
Yeah.
have everything for the most part that they've come out with so far, with the exception of some of the hard to find stuff.
Okay. Yeah, dude. I ever since Dennis hooked me up, he blessed me with some, and then Juan also gave me some. I was like, oh man, that's it. Like, now I go to the store, and if I see them, I'll pick some up depending what I like, and I'm like, oh man, there we go. But yeah,
Hmm.
regarding like the 164 scale, diecast, it's definitely something that will help you if you're ever in a slump, like how you said. It's it's just something there because the car is built right. So
Hmm.
like you said, it's about taking the paint apart. Like that's a whole thing.
Yep.
From my experience, I've used a paint stripper with a can, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
I'll spray it, and then I'll let it chill, and then I get a little brush. I'll start moving agitating it, spray it again, leave it, and then later just wash it off, and it comes off.
Hmm.
And I was like, all right, cool. I want to know what other methods are out there. So I started going on YouTube, and then there's people that were promoting this like orange like stripper. I forget the name of it, but they have it at Home Depot. So I was like, oh, let me buy that. Let me try it out. So I pick it up, and then I ended up kind of making a mistake. I got a jar and I poured
Hmm.
like a bunch of that stuff in there, and then I poured the diecast in there, right?
Hmm.
I left it in there. So it's basically like I dunked the whole car in there. When I took
Right.
it out, I mean, the whole thing was like all the paint was gone. But now it was just messier now because I had to clean all that stuff off,
Hmm.
and it was gonna, I had to wear gloves and everything. I was like, oh man, I don't want to get this on my hands. So then, Armando was like, why didn't you just grab a brush and like dip it in that material and then just brush it onto the thing? And I was like, there we go. I didn't even think about that, So I was like, crap. So then, I kind of chilled, but I resorted back to the can. I started going
Hmm.
back to the can. So then there was some areas that were a little rough. And I was like, all right, I gotta sand this stuff. So I was now having to teach myself again. I couldn't remember what grit I was using so I don't knock off any of the, like the little designs, whatever there is that's in there. You don't
Hmm.
really get much, but still, I didn't want to compromise anything with it. So I was like, all right, we'll just go from here. But once I have it in primer, I'm like, all right, we're all good to go now. We made it. We got out of the woods,
Yeah.
you know? What do you use as far as like sandpaper, like, or what grit do you use?
So it's kind of been a learning process for me. Mostly to like scuff the bodies and stuff once they've been removed of the paint. I mean, if I'm not trying to like really take away any design, like not designs, but like mold lines, like casting lines, that kind of stuff, I usually just do like 4 600 grit just to kind
Oh,
of give
cool.
it a little bit of a shine, kind of like that the Enzo that was pictured in the you had up a little bit ago. That was
Mhm.
all hit with a 400 grit sanding sponge, and it's not perfect by any means, but I'm also not trying to polish it to where you do like the candy, the Spectra Flame paint as they call it. I'm not trying to polish it to do that. Obviously, I'm going to primer it and then do my normal process that I would do, you know.
Mhm.
So it's I'm usually like around the 4 to 600 if I'm not having to do any like heavy modification to it.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, let me show you. I wanted to share with you some diecast right here. These are the most current ones that I was painting before the Acme show,
Okay.
but let me grab them because they're falling apart. Because I don't even have like the screws or anything on here.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
see. Ooh, this one's dusty. Sorry. So this one's let me see. Is it a Celica? Let me see. I can't even remember right here. Can't even tell because I put too much clear on it. Looks like it, but there's this one right here.
Oh,
Let's see if I
nice.
grab it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there we
I like
go.
that
So this
color,
is,
bro.
yeah, thanks. Yeah, this is one of the House of Color limited edition colors that I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, all right, and I put a couple little like ghost stripes in the middle too. I don't know if you could
Oh,
see
nice.
it. And then this one here, oh, I see it already fell apart, but I'll just show you the body. This is the body on this one here.
I remember you posted something about that one, I think, a while back as you
Yeah,
were painting it, right?
yeah, and then lately I just been going plain like tan interiors for those colors to like stand out
Oh, okay, yeah.
right
Yeah.
there. So I've been
Nice.
rocking those, and then this is a Honda like a CRX body
Oh,
right there.
yeah, I
Let's
like that.
focus. There we go. Ah, that's another
Nice.
one. Yeah, and this one, I remember asking Juan, like, hey, when you're mixing your clear, are you mixing a lot of clear or how do you go out? Because I always tend to mix too much clear, where when
Mhm.
I'm done, I feel bad. I'm like, dang, I'm throwing away all this clear. I could have used it on a body or whatever. And
Right.
I'm just clear coating like one or two little cars, you know. I'm just tossing a bunch of clear away. And Juan was like, yeah, I just small amount. I even just do it in the cup. And I'm at the airbrush. I'm dang, like that. Okay. I was like, so then I was using the Tamiya jars, and I felt like, all
Mhm.
right, those are too big right now for this. So
Right.
then I got some of the little like the medicine here. Let me see. Here we go. Let me grab this here. These kind of little bottles or little cups right
Oh,
there.
yeah, like the little medicine cups.
Yeah. So I was like,
Mhm.
all right, cool. Like these ones have all the little measurements on here. So
Mhm.
I'm just mixing like a tiny little amount, dude. Like maybe a quarter
Mhm.
of the cup. And it's like perfect. Like I'm only left with a little bit, you know, and then just toss this little thing and we're good to go. But before, oh dude, I was just tossing away so much clear. I was like, man, I need to figure something out, man. Cause like
Need to have like 5 or 6 cars ready to go, you know?
yeah. No, yeah, and this was part of it. I felt like, okay, like I like doing the spoons and all that
Mhm.
for testing out colors, but it was just one of these things where I felt like, you know what, I feel like painting a die cast. I feel like just, you know, getting back into it a little bit to paint, and you know, you see Juan busting out all the time, and you're like, damn, like when am I gonna like really practice to hone those kind of skills? But man, he has years of like killing it with that right there.
Oh, yeah. No, it's like you said, it's a whole different aspect when you start doing this stuff. Like the normal processes you would think that would you do with the models, like the 125th scale stuff, just it's not the same at all.
Yeah, I have this I have this one in the baggie. Let me bust it out. It's remember when Revell did their diecast?
Oh yeah,
And this is
like
a fleet line right here. Let's see. It's already it's been primered for a long time,
oh nice.
but I
Yeah.
just haven't painted it or nothing. So I'm hoping this will be like a future car to
Mm-hmm.
to paint. And it's cool because the parts separate too. So like if you want to do the fenders a different color from the
Mm-hmm.
body, you could also switch it up right there. Let me see if
No,
I
that's
can
badass, bro. That's
gotta put these
it's
back.
just it's cool, man. It's just one of those aspects that gives so many different ideas you can do with this stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, and when I use some of these colors to paint these cars, like I'm starting to really see the detail, in the sun and everything, and just like the
Mm-hmm.
curves and stuff that I go, all right, cool. Next time when I paint, a model, I'm gonna go for like this color, right
Mm-hmm.
here, or just to kind of get an idea of what, but also just to experiment like with different types of bases underneath, just to see like what's gonna fit or flow with.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too, is that they're good, like you're saying, like using the spoons to test colors. It's a good way to test it with the hot with like the 64 scale bodies. Plus, you're not wasting a lot of paint. You're not using a lot of material, and you can do multiples and just mix the same amount you would to do like one or two coats on a model car.
Yeah. And right now, how's the like the weather as far as like painting? Because I know back then you told me you paint in like different like temperatures, and it doesn't matter to you like what season or what, you just do your thing. How has it been? Like, has it been pretty cool? Like the weather in your end, or
So today was the first day where it didn't really get above 50 out here. So we're
Mhm.
starting to get into that cold winter season right now. We didn't really have much of a fall. Um, but yeah, it's still, I mean, for me, because I paint indoors now with my booth and everything, so it doesn't temperature doesn't affect me as much as it used to. But yeah, even back in the day, I think some of the earlier podcasts we talked about, I was doing like painting outside. I would paint even when it was like snow on the ground after it snowed or whatever,
yeah,
which was a whole different ball game aspect for obviously being in 75-degree weather all year long, you
dang,
know.
that's crazy. Yeah, yeah, I
But
remember.
it's a trip.
Yeah, because when you were telling me like back then, I was like, dude, I don't know, man. That's crazy right there. Having to deal with all that. Cause even like us, like we had a lot of at first, the sun was out and everything being all spoiled, right?
Hmm.
And we had at least like a week of rain, like it just coming down. And I thought, oh well, what's the big deal? I'm in a controlled environment, I could paint in here. Cool. But then next thing you know, I have a rude awakening. I'm over here like coming in here. It's cold in here.
Hmm.
And even with the little heater on, whatever, it's cold. And I'm like, nah, I'm not even in the mood. Like I don't even feel like
Yeah.
painting. Or even just sitting down and like sanding or working on a model. I
Hmm.
was like, I'll just wait. It's just gonna be a week, I'll do something else. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, it definitely did affect though, right there, the weather.
Well, and that's the thing too, like out here. So, we have basements out here in the Midwest, and that's where this room is. That's where my paint room is next door. And like right now, like I normally have a heater on in this room, but just for sound, overlay or whatever, I don't want to have it going at the moment. But it does get a little chilly down here, and there's times where it's like, yeah, no, I'm not even gonna worry about working on anything. I'm just gonna stay upstairs where it's warmer, and I'll come back to it another time. But especially around this time of year where it's because once we get into December and January, we're looking at teens, if not sometimes negative degree temps. That's a high, so
Mhm.
not fun.
No, yeah, man. I bet that's whack. And on Sundays, I notice you always post up your coffee and your projects right there, your bench and everything.
Hmm.
That's always fun, man. Shout outs to Paul over at Left Coast Model Car Builds. He does this thing like every Sunday. It's like Model Cars and Coffee on YouTube.
Hmm.
And I watch all these videos of all the guys doing their thing, talking about a project or sharing some information. And a while back, he had blessed me with one of his cards, a coffee mug, and everything. And then I was like, "Damn,
Nice.
bro, that's it." Like, I'm gonna be doing my videos, So whenever now I'm doing that on Sundays on YouTube, but whenever I see your posts, like I think about that and I go, "Oh man, like you've been doing your thing too for a long time."
So
Posting on there too.
so I actually got to give a shout out to Joel Iceman Collections, because I actually kind of stole that from him, because
Oh, no
he,
way.
he was doing that. He was the one that really started that trend, I think, because he was doing that for a while on Sundays and stuff like that, and doing like a bench update. So I kind of adapted doing the same thing a little bit, and I know after a while he wasn't doing it as much, and then I just kind of kept rolling with it, and I noticed people started like interacting a lot more with that, and they were I had some people message me like, "Oh, I appreciate the updates," or we look forward to it every Sunday, or whenever you post on Sundays. Sometimes it's not every Sunday, but it was kind of cool. So I just kind of started keeping up that trend, and it's kind of turned into a, I don't know, a little internet blow up thing. So
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Ren, I'm looking at your shirt and I just noticed, dang, look at this.
oh yeah.
Carhartt. What? That's
Yes
cool.
sir.
Nice,
Yes
nice.
sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I'm telling you, it's cold in here. So I'm like, woo,
I was
trying
gonna say,
to
you
stay
you
warm.
got that's a heavy jacket for California, man.
Yeah, I got a, well, I'm actually wearing a sweater underneath and then I got this one over, but
Oh
I
geez.
have like an orange one. That one's heavy. That one's big. I'm like, I was like, I wear that one, but then I'll probably fall to the ground because it's too heavy.
But
What I
that's
have.
what's funny, man. Like, so how I come out there for the Grand National Show in January every year,
Yeah.
and so that's like out here. That's peak time where it's like low teens, sometimes negative temps out here. So
Mhm.
and you guys around there is like, I mean, if I remember, it's like 50s, sometimes in the 40s at night.
Mhm.
But it's always funny because when I go out there, that's a heat wave for me. So I'm walking around in shorts, a t-shirt, and I'm seeing everyone dressed out there with the heavy stuff that we would wear when it's like, that cold, teens out here.
Crazy.
And it's funny. And people are looking at me like I'm the crazy one.
Yeah. They're like, "Man, this guy's not cold?" You're just
Yeah.
like mobbing with your shorts and stuff. That's a trip. Hey, so are you gonna be coming down for this year for the Roadster show?
So yeah, I'll be down as far as everything goes right now. It's looking like I'll be down there for the roaster show. Usually I never miss that. I haven't missed it
Mhm.
since 2013, I think.
Wow.
Even after I moved out here, I still
Yeah.
always try to go find a find an excuse to go out there. Usually because it's cold as hell out here. Um,
Yeah. Are
but
when you
yeah,
go,
I'll be out there next year.
do you go to all the days or is it just like one day that you tend to go to that one?
No, so I usually just make a weekend trip out of it. In last few years, we've actually been helping out Rusty Price, who puts on the model show out there.
Mhm.
Al and myself, we've been assisting him with that and helping him out with setting up and everything. So we go all 3 days,
Oh,
and it's
nice.
uh it's cool because I mean you kind of need almost all 3 days to look at stuff, especially Saturday when they got everybody outside, you know. But it's I usually try to make the whole weekend out of it.
Yeah. And as far as like what's like the difference between like the 3 days? Like tell me like what normally how's the kind of the vibe like the Friday?
So Friday is really chill because I mean everybody's still kind of. I mean they've set up I think Thursdays when all like the cars can roll in and stuff like that. But Fridays is really chill. There's not a whole lot of crowd there. Really a good day to go if you want to get some good shots of like the indoor cars, the cars that are indoors and stuff, without a whole lot of people around. It's really laid back. The model contest, you have a few, maybe like 5 to 10 cars show up Friday. People set their stuff up. A lot of them are ones that actually they have a 1-to-1 car in the show. So some of them still build models. They'll put them out at the show on Friday. But Friday is just really chill. It's one of my favorite days to go to just take photos and stuff.
Yeah. And then Saturday is the day you said that's like when they bring the cars outside on
Hmm.
display. Okay.
Yeah, they open it up to the like the local, I guess, car scene, if you will. So everybody that doesn't have a full blown, SEMA style car or high end hot rod. Yeah, no, there are some high end hot rods that come out too for that, but they pretty much cover almost all of the fairgrounds from the south side of the racetrack that's there. And I mean, I think it's anywhere between 1,000, 1,500 cars, maybe more, that come out Saturday.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
it's pretty cool.
yeah, and I'm assuming like the Sunday. I've only gone I believe the Sundays. That's like when it's like probably the one of the busiest, right? Like everything's out.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. Usually Sunday's one of the busier days. I'd say Saturday probably is a lot busier than Sunday, mainly because you have the outside stuff too, so you're also bringing more people in for that.
yeah.
But Sunday, is pretty can be pretty busy. This year, this year 25 Sunday was actually a lot slower than I think it normally is. I think because they changed the times on it.
Mm,
I think it closed a little earlier this year, but a lot of people come out for the model show mainly Sunday because they don't want to pay for parking twice, or some people don't like leaving their models there. But it's actually a pretty cool deal if you go Saturday and enter your cars. You get a pass to come back, so you don't have to pay except for parking. You don't have to pay for
yeah,
re-entry
re-entry.
into the show Sunday though.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I missed I would say maybe like the last year or two. Like I've missed
Hmm.
some for sure. But I'm excited for this year. I mean, I definitely want to go. Just feeling very inspired from seeing builds, but I also want to go back to seeing a lot of the one-to-one cars,
Hmm.
all the new stuff. But then again, I also want to look at the cars in the model contest and the show, and see familiar faces and all that. I haven't been down there in so long, so it's definitely a show that it's on my list that I
Hmm.
I want to go to. So yeah, most you come down, hell yeah, bro. I'll definitely link up with you there as well. You
Yeah,
know
for sure, for sure.
that's
Because
cool. And
yeah, I stay with Al Camacho down at
mhm,
his house in Wilmington. So we're around that whole area, whether it's the Valley or down out in LA and all that stuff. So yeah, we can definitely
yeah,
get together
yeah.
for
Well,
sure.
yeah, we'll be able to hang out with Alex. We'll link up. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
a trip now that there's no more NNL West. Kinda like set it up, right? Like NNL West, Roadster Show,
Hmm.
you'd come down and now it's just like, that's not it's gone. But are you gonna be also coming down in April for there's the show at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. That's
Yeah,
the Left Coast Classic.
Yeah, Frankie's
Yeah,
show. Yeah,
Frankie show, with Big
Big
Dave.
Dave, and yeah.
Yeah, and then the next weekend after that is gonna be the SoCal Open with Art Lasky.
So yeah, so I guess I'll make that announcement now that I will be out for Frankie and Dave show in April. Um, Probably not gonna make SoCal Open. Um, I'll be honest with you, bro. It's actually getting harder to travel now because stuff's
Mhm.
just so damn expensive.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and then especially doing back to back like that. I mean, the flights have just kind of gotten a little ridiculous now. So, and I don't have. If I had the time to stay out there for a whole week, I would to make both shows, but I won't have enough time at that time to do that. So I'll be hitting the new one, which will be the lower left coast or some left coast
Oh,
classic.
yeah, Left Coast Classic.
Yeah, left coast classic. Definitely hitting that one. I've been kind of Big Dave had sent me some flyers back when I went to Kansas City to help promote the show back then earlier this year. So I kind of told him like, yeah, no, for sure I'll be out there, and that's also kind of what got me into Hot Wheel stuff too, because they're gonna have the Hot Wheel class out there too. So,
Yeah.
but no, for sure, I'll be at least twice this year. I'll be at California for the Roadster Show and for the Left Coast Classic.
For that
So,
one. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I understand, man. Like stuff's expensive, but in case if, next year there's some type of opportunity or something, I'm pretty sure you'd be like, all right, you know what? It's looking like I might be able to do both weekends.
mhm,
It just depends because obviously too, you gotta work too back at home. You got your job and everything, and there's only so
yeah.
many days off you can get, getting paid. And then later they're like, hey, bro, we got all these projects we gotta finish up over here. How many years have you been now with the company?
So I've been there. I just passed my 5 year mark in August this year.
Nice, congrats.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's been fun, man. I haven't really considered it a job. Really, it's just been fun.
Yeah, I mean, you're you're doing what a lot of people want to be doing, dude. Like, you're painting, you're doing a lot of stuff, and you're still doing it, at a pleasure at home, like painting models, painting the Hot Wheels. So it's just like it's nonstop of just doing this whole process. And
Hmm.
do you ever like think back like when you started, like that first year compared to now, like 5 years with the company of working on all the projects that they give you?
Yeah, it's been a trip, dude. Lot I've progressed a lot in the 5 years and learned a lot of stuff from my coworkers and just being hands on with everything. And it's taken me to a level now where I can apply stuff to the models, that techniques and all that kind of stuff, like learning how to paint the one to ones. And it's just been fun. And, like you've seen some of the photos I post every now and then, when I'm in the booth and stuff. And it's like, it's a blast, bro. I mean, it's not custom work by any means. Like I'm not painting candies or lowriders or anything like that, but it's still fun just to get your hands on a paint gun and just go to town, you know.
Oh yeah, man. No, for sure. Yeah, my like one of my homie back then, he would invite me like, "Hey, come kick it." And like he has a collision shop, but then he also does custom work from time to time. And
Hmm.
once in a while he'll like be like, "Hey, I need to primer these parts. You want you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." To me, I'm like, "Well, this is the closest thing." I mean, I have my own spray guns and stuff at the pad, but I'm not painting anything here. Like
Right.
I kind of put all that stuff away for now. But at the time, then I was like, "Oh, this is fun!" Like even just doing that and like seeing it, and then even my friend being like, "Oh, look, you need a little bit more right here." All right, cool. It's like that whole learning like aspect. It's like, "Oh man, this is like the closest thing to the real thing." You know,
Right.
and especially the cool thing now is like, if now like if you need to repair something on your car, like you could do it. Touch something up, paint it. I'm sure you probably look at cars and people be like, "Oh my god, it's scratched," and you're just like, "Yeah, it's just a clear, like that's like damage. It's not the paint. Like it hasn't even reached that yet, but the people are freaking out."
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, as I call it, because I pick out so much stuff now on cars all over the place that it's like normally I would never have seen that before,
Mhm.
but now it's like, oh dude, that bugs me so bad. Like I want to fix that, but obviously, that person doesn't care. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But it's funny you say that though, with being able to do my own stuff, because I actually had to do that to my wife's car earlier this year, a few months ago. I hit a deer uh,
No
going
way.
going to work one morning. Yeah, just that that happens out here, unfortunately. Um, that just kind of came out of nowhere, and it messed up the. Luckily, it didn't do a whole lot of damage. It just messed up the bumper, kind of. But
Uh-huh.
I took it over to my buddy's house because he's got a big enough spot that he can paint at his house. He's one of my coworkers too, and we just knocked it out within like 2 days, 3 days, something like that.
Mhm.
So it was pretty cool. Just
Wow. Are you able to keep the deer or nah?
oh no, I didn't kill it. It ran off.
Alright. I
Yeah,
thought it
no,
was
I
like they're like, it's big gain season. Like you
Right.
gotta take it home. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, nah.
No, it ran off. I only hit it at like 25 miles an hour. It wasn't nothing like crazy or
Oh,
nothing,
okay.
but
Yeah.
I
It just did the damage to the car and it like took
yeah,
off.
exactly. And it was crazy too because where I live at, there's a lot of wood, like some wooded areas and stuff, but it's pretty much mostly populated, with houses and everything.
Hmm.
But I swear to you, bro. I mean, I know it was 4:30 in the morning, but I swear the damn thing just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just like I didn't even see it run from left or right. I just like all of a sudden I look and it's there. And so I had no
Oh,
time to react to it or nothing. And I'm like,
yeah.
I was even questioning if it actually happened, but it left hair in the bumper. So no, I know
Hmm.
it actually happened.
Yeah. You're like, what the hell is that? What a
Right,
trip,
exactly.
man. So now that the year's wrapping up, bro.
Hmm.
We're November, December, and then obviously next year's gonna be the model season. Like, do you aside from like the Porsche, the 911, do you have other projects kind of like lined up or in mind of like what you want to work on for next year? Like, what is it that you want to bust out with next year?
Yeah. Take your pick, bro. I got about 7 or 8 laying here right now, and about 10 other ideas in my head at the moment. It's
Can you show us one of the models or something? Let's see.
oh, let's see here. What up?
Anything. Bust out.
Well, all right. Let's see. I'll bring this out here. Let's see if so this is the one that I'll bring out sometime next year. This is a alpha model kit. It's a SP2 Ferrari. So it's a resin kit. It's been painted already. It's a pearl yellow from Splash. One of the two-stage or tri-stage Ferrari colors they have. Let's see how well. I don't know if it shows up that well on camera, but
Oh, there we go. Right there. Nice.
yeah, this is one that's been in the works for a little while this year. I still got to do some black striping on it on here and then across the front. It comes with decals, but I'm gonna end up painting it just because I can. But it'll have Geronimo Works wheels. It's gonna be a custom a little bit, not just a typical Ferrari build. But this is one of them for next year. At some point, whenever try not to set too many deadlines for myself anymore,
Hmm.
honestly. But let's see, I got this one, and then so I know people have seen this one in the background. And being we were talking about custom stuff earlier,
Ooh.
yeah, and I brought this out.
Oh, wait.
So
Somebody commented right here. Look. And this
yeah,
is before you even showed it. All right. Tell
yeah,
us.
yeah. So this was actually originally started by a guy out here as far as some of the body work and everything. And unfortunately, he passed away um, a while back, and I acquired this. It was in decent shape, but it needed a lot of love. And he had started the chop on it, but I kind of went a little further with it, and then did shaved all the moldings off, molded the front bumper, molded the rear, molded the taillights into it. This is the AMT kit, so it's got the opening doors on it already. So one of them I'm gonna do suicide, and one of them just a regular. And then I also let's see if I can open this up here. I opened the trunk on it, but I did it in I guess what you call that, like I shortened the trunk and did just like a little
Ooh.
trunk versus like the hole where it comes down here. Just
I
open
like
that
that,
up
bro.
right there. So the hood will be tilt forward, and then I'm probably gonna try and do some stuff with the headlights, do some kind of custom work. But this is really probably the first true custom I've done or worked on. I've never really done a whole like custom as far as like heavy body mods or anything like that. And this is kind of like my dive into that.
Yeah, I like it, bro. It's really nice. I like the roof, like the
Hmm.
chop on the roof and the way it just shoots back, right? And then
Yeah.
also that trunk, how you did that right there, That's the
Hmm.
fun thing, man. Like just seeing this custom, it's like your take on it and experimentation, and I like what you said earlier that this model needed some love. It's
Hmm.
not like, oh, I needed a bunch of work. No, it's like all I needed is some love, and you give
Yeah.
it and you start producing and adding to it, man. But man, this is a cool car right here.
Yeah. So and this was, I mean, earlier this year. I think really early this year that I acquired it because I brought it out for. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I acquired this at the end of last year of 24 because I brought it out to the Roadster show and then the Galpin show this year, just kind of as like a primer deal, and this was before I cut the trunk open and all that, but just to kind of show, hey, I'm going a different direction with certain builds. Like, people know me for lowriders, they know me for trucks, that kind of stuff, but
Mhm,
I want to start diving into other areas, so customs, race cars, drag racing, that kind of stuff. Just to go out of my comfort zone. But I've been around so many people that have done those kind of builds that now I want to try and see what I can do.
mhm. Yeah.
And I got a lot of support and a lot of people that I can go to for help and guidance on that. Like especially like the race cars and stuff. Whether it's drag racing or um, like even like some NASCAR stuff. Being in the
Mhm.
Midwest in this area out here, NASCAR is kind of big, so
Yeah.
naturally you just kind of get sucked into it.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. Like, I mean,
I
even
mean, you saw that down at ACME.
yeah,
How
that
much
was that
many
was bad.
NASCARs.
Oh hell yeah,
You know.
dude! Like from the a lot of the cars, it was an eye opener with a lot of the stuff I saw, but it made me appreciate more everything, things that I've never built that I
Hmm.
overlook. Like just because I don't build it, I'm not into it. I was overlooking it, like not thinking that like it's not detailed or whatever, right? But then you
Hmm.
start looking and you're like, oh, what the hell? Like, damn, this is another level stuff. It's not just a body that has a bunch of decals on it or whatever. No, like
No.
there's stuff in there, like, and
Hmm.
and it's just like taking the time now to really like looking at this stuff. I was like, wow, like this is a whole nother like a whole nother level, whole nother respect and everything that I'm like,
Hmm.
man, like, all right. I know that, if I was getting into that, I know I'm gonna be the same. I gotta step it up, I gotta do the detailing and everything. It's funny because I even started working on a Barracuda because I wanted to finish it to
Yeah.
take it to the show, right? I'm all working on it and everything, and I'm all ordering my wheels and stuff. But then I was like, wait a minute, I don't really know too much about the Barracuda, and I'm gonna be going over there and like putting it right there. And it was just, I don't know, I just felt like I was gonna be a poser or something. And like they're gonna be like, what's that car right there? It's all whack. They wouldn't use those wheels. So I wanted to
Yeah.
do it right. And I'm like, nah, I better wait. I better wait. You know,
Hmm.
I and it's I'm glad I waited because the more research I started to do, I started like watching a ton of videos on YouTube with that cars just racing, the funny cars, all this stuff. It took me down that path. And I
Hmm.
was like, yo, like these cars are bad. So the Barracuda, I just started becoming a big fan of that car right there.
Hmm.
And watch, let me grab this. I'm gonna grab another magazine. Hang on. Um, this other one got me really excited. Like the paint jobs on this. I was like,
Yes.
all right,
Yes.
here we go. Here we go. Like
Yeah.
I like custom stuff. I like the lowrider stuff. But I was like, wait a minute. And then I spoke with Gary Seeds, and Gary Seeds is like, oh yeah, like there's a lot of stuff like this that I saw back in the day. And now he's like, this is like the newer stuff. But he was
Hmm.
saying it might look complicated, but it's not. He's like, it's just panels.
Hmm.
Like once you start, he's stare at the photo for a long time and start looking at the hood, the flow of everything, but you'll start to see how everything that's on here is just panels. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm starting to kind of like dissect it and see it. But this was another thing that caught my eye where I was like, oh crap, I like here we go. Like, I love
Mm-hmm.
the paint stuff. I like looking at all these things. I like looking at flames. And then I
Yep.
was like, oh man, like I want to start adding more flames to my cars now and stuff. So it's just
Yeah.
fun, man. Like there's just so much stuff out there, you know?
Well, and that's the thing is a lot of people don't realize is these lowrider paint jobs, they're starting to show up on different styles of cars now. Like for like those pro street cars or even drag cars. But
Yeah.
like you said, Gary was talking about those back in the day. A lot of those cars had stuff like that. It wasn't just lowriders. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yeah. Watch, let me see if I could zoom in the back of this one, if it shows right there. The cycle fish.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of cool things. And even just, like seeing all these with the big, like chunky wheels in the back. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I've never built a model like that. All the wheels I'm using, they're like, 13s, 14s, 15s, like just tiny little wheels. And I'm going, dang, how bad would it be in the future to do like one of those pro stocks or pro mods or just even a drag car with the huge wheels in the back. Like I've never
Right.
done one, but man, even when I went to the NHRA museum
Mm-hmm.
for the Spirit of Speed, I was walking around just looking at the collection of cars that they have there. And I've seen the collection so many times, but this time was different looking at the collection because now it's like a different perspective, being more like excited and stuff. And I'm like, wow, like just imagining, I can't believe a person sits in there in that little cab with the shifter so high up or whatever, and these huge wheels like right there,
Mm-hmm.
and this huge engine right there, and anything could go wrong. It's
Oh
almost
yeah.
like every takeoff is an experimentation. We don't know what's gonna happen, so let's we prepared all year or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
let's just pray nothing bad happens. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's nuts, bro. One of the fastest jobs in the world, drag racing. It only lasts 3 to 4 seconds. You know.
Oh, watch, check it out. So right now Armando put Bill Carter used to paint boats and dragsters before lowriders. Watch, check this out. I'll be back. I'm gonna bust something out right now. Hang on.
All right. All right.
All right, all right. Woo! Man, this camera's following me. What the hell?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
was gonna say it's got
Hey,
motion sense on it.
yeah, yeah, it's the motion. All right, here we go, guys. So I got this magazine, another magazine right here. This one is Bill Carter when, RIP to him, but when he was younger right
Mm-hmm.
here. Check it out. That's him right there.
Oh shoot! Look at that.
I've never shown this magazine before. This is Hot Rod had a special edition. Oh, wait a minute. Now the AI, let me turn this thing off. What the heck? I think it has like if it detects a human or something because it
Yeah.
detects painting, so I zoomed in. But all right, let's go back. So this is him right here painting this car. All right. So look at the car, look at the paint, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that paint job? There's another car, a Camaro with another. Doesn't this remind you of Las Vegas?
I was just gonna say, yeah, the color scheme and everything, yeah, it really does.
Yeah, like there's something there. I feel like there's a connection
Yeah.
between this and that car, right? But when I found this magazine and I was like, yo, like this is dope, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
another piece of history, like custom, and there's some nice photos in here. But it's really cool because even his T-shirt that he's wearing, it's like his shop shirt, and in the bottom it says Chatsworth, California. And
Oh
I was
shoot.
like, yo, like that's really, really cool. And then in this magazine, there's a section of him painting this car. But even
Mm-hmm.
this is like obviously inspiring, right? This can go in many directions. You could either
Right.
get inspiration to be like, all right, lowrider style, or if I want to do hot rod, style, or like you said, the boats, the dragsters, like there's so much stuff, man, that's out there. And
It's endless possibilities.
yeah, dude. So I don't know, man. I have a lot of sometimes I don't even go live or nothing. I'm just or working on mom. I'm just like flipping through these books, like just
Mm-hmm.
looking at the stuff. And if I see another mag, I'm like, I gotta get that book.
Dude, I tell you, man, so the biggest, I'll do the same thing. Like I'll start either looking online, or sometimes I'll have like magazines and stuff here, and start looking at photos. And then next thing I know, it's been like an hour or 2 hours. And I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't even touched none. I've just been looking at these photos, getting ideas and stuff. And, it's really cool. And it's where a lot of my inspiration comes from, honestly,
Yeah.
you know?
No, that's good, man. Yeah, I mean, there's just man, there's so much stuff, bro. I feel like sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time. Like I wanna dig through stuff. I wanna like build stuff and
Hmm.
whatnot. And it's always the little pluses. Whenever we get that car done, finally, it's like, all right, the model's done. Let me take photographs. Let me take it to shows, and
Hmm.
then with all your cars that are done, do you display them in the boxes, like, around the pad, or where do they end up?
So I should have sent you a photo of that. So actually in my hallway here, downstairs in the basement, I have display cases that they hold up to 24 cars. They're from Carney Plastics. I think the same ones that like Iceman has posted like in the background of his some of his photos.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I got them displayed in the hallway here. I got three of them right now. I need to add another one because they're all filled up at this point. But that's usually where all my stuff is. It all stays down in the basement. But it's kind of like a little museum down here, with all my work and some of my awards and a bunch of other automotive related stuff down here.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, those cases are bad, dude. They're really cool.
Yeah, they're some of the best that I've found. And I mean, like I said, they hold quite a bit because I used to display stuff in the individual like display cases,
Mhm.
like you just stack them and everything. And eventually that
Yeah.
got to the point where I got too many of these, and I'm starting to run out of room for those. So I need to figure out something else. But and then I don't know. I've recently kind of just I've started rotate. I've had to rotate stuff out now because it's like I got so many built ones. It's like I can't display them all.
Yeah. Yeah, when you put up that display, did you have to, like, just, like, bolt that thing to the wall? Or I mean, to, like, a 2 by 4 or something, like, making sure
Yeah.
it does not fall one day?
Oh yeah. It's drilled and anchored into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
Cool.
going anywhere. Trust me. They make sure they give you the right hardware to put it in, and I make sure that they're anchored really well, because that was my first concern was, if you don't put this on right, it's gonna, you're gonna hear a crash and everything's just gonna be gone at that point. But
Yeah. It's like,
no, they've been really good and stuff, because a lot of them, like the ones behind me here on the wall, that's how I used to display stuff.
mhm.
Just in the cases, like I said, and it's cool, but after a while, it starts taking up too much space.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have mine in the boxes, like, right behind me up top right here. These are
Oh,
all
okay.
in, like, those little cases. I have some right here, but I'm like, not I there's, like, I need to buy, like, 2 more cases for a couple more cars that I just have them in the box,
Hmm.
and I'm like, "Alright, I gotta get some more boxes, like, of those cases just to put them in." But, man, I wish in the future, like, I could get one of those kinda cases and put it somewhere here on, like,
Yeah.
on the wall, because it could just be like a section and just put everything in there, and you could fit a lot more in there.
It, exactly. And that was kind of my thought process behind it. And, I wanted to make it look like something that, I want to bring people down here to show them and stuff, and,
Mhm.
make it look presentable, if you will, you know,
Yeah.
not just
Nah.
all over the place.
Yeah, nah, for real. And when you're done with your models, the empty boxes, when they have all the parts, do you just keep those extra parts in that box, or are you starting to kinda consolidate all the parts and get rid of the boxes?
So I've always had a parts box, like a big parts box. Usually what I'll do is I'll take whatever leftover parts that I have from a kit, and I'll catalog. I'll put them in a little plastic bag, Ziploc bag, and then I'll just throw them in that parts. I'll label what they're from and put them in the parts bin. The boxes I don't really keep much anymore, just because it's already hard enough to just to keep all the models like this, let alone empty boxes.
Yeah.
So if it's something rare like a Johann box, I got a couple of Johann kits. I won't get rid of those. I'll make sure I keep those. But otherwise it's just I don't keep the empty boxes, and I've started to sell some parts now because that parts box is way overflowing.
Yeah. No,
So
yeah, it's a trip, man. I from a lot of the stuff, like I keep parts, but then again,
mhm,
sometimes I'm just like, I don't think I'm gonna use this, and then I'll give it away or I'll toss it or whatever, right?
mhm,
But lately, like I've been keeping a lot of stuff from recent builds. I'm hanging on. If anything, I probably hang on more to like the bumpers or grills,
yeah,
and if there's any extra headlights, I'll keep them because I just
yep,
know that eventually, those things are gonna come in handy for like a custom build if I
mhm,
wanna switch up the face or at least the headlights in that vehicle. Um,
right,
and yeah, with like the customs, like from those magazines from the 60s, as I'm flipping through a lot of it, there's a lot of molding involved, a lot of putty. Um,
yes,
they do mention cement or like glue, but there was a lot of putty, and I did see in some other mags. I don't own those mags yet, like because I'm hoping to get them one day. But
mhm,
even like AMT had their own like putty as well.
yeah,
Like I saw a tube and it would say like AMT and it had the thing, and I was like, wow, like I've never seen that in person. And like right now, I've seen people posting photographs of like at Walmart's. Like they're
mhm.
posting like the little, I don't know what they're called, but it's not a it's like an AMT kind of setup with all the
Oh
kits.
yeah,
And
yeah, like
then
a little like pallet type thing, something like
yes,
that.
and then in there, in the photo, when I zoom in, you see that they're also selling like packaged almost like a vintage looking tube of glue, but it's
Right.
AMT. And I've been thinking about buying one of those glue packs just to
Mhm.
have. Maybe I'll buy two, one to use and one just to keep. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, it's not from back then, but it's here, just to get.
Yeah, just
And
just so you have it.
yeah, yeah, and I've been seeing that, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So I don't know. I gotta drive because I don't think all the WalMarts have it. I think only certain ones are
Mhm.
carrying it. But so far, some of my friends on YouTube have posted stuff, and I've been seeing that, and I'm like, oh wow. So
Hmm.
if I hit up the local ones here, and if I can't find one, I'm gonna have to be like, hey, dog, you have to come through and get me one of them, like pieces right there, because I
For
definitely
sure.
want to
I
have one in the stash.
I was gonna say I don't think a lot of our Walmarts carry. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of display like AMT displays out here, so
Mhm.
I've yet to see anything really. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I know. I'd be very surprised if I saw like a display too. I'll be like,
Mhm.
what? Like, all right, because
Yeah, because
yeah, I think it just depends on the sales. If they go, well, no one bought them, so this is the last year we ain't getting any more.
I, I was gonna say a few years ago, I remember a Walmart out here had model kits and stuff, but that was only like a one time thing, and it was like around this time of year.
Mhm.
But I don't know how well they did because, like I said, like you said, I haven't seen them since, and that's been
Yeah.
about 3 or 4 years at least.
No, yeah. The going back to your El Camino, the 59,
Mhm.
uh which box are is that the one with the big box or the smaller box?
So it's actually a little bit of both because I started with one and then I ended up having to buy one of the big box art ones. It's like orange and blue, purplish on the white on the box.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had to buy that to kind of supplement some parts for it. But yeah, I had both versions of it though.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I ended up picking one up a long time ago, but it was also the one with the big box,
Hmm.
and it was like the most recent like repop of it when
Yeah.
Hobby Lobby had done that run of kits,
Hmm.
and I saw it and I was like, cool, I'm gonna get one. I didn't never had one at the time, and I think I chopped the roof. I did something to it that later it just was like a stalled kit. I wasn't doing anything to it,
Hmm.
and then I ended up just selling it like later. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do anything to it. It's a cool kit, but seeing your car, I'm like, oh man, now I don't have one, but now I'm like, I gotta add that one back to the list. You know.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm taking that off the list after building that one because that one, like I said, kick my ass.
Uh-huh. What a
But
trip.
yeah, there's certain kits like that, man. That you build them once or twice, and it's like, oh man, I got to do it again,
Mhm.
or like in the case of that one for me, it's like, nah, I'm good, one and done.
Yeah. I felt like that with a Revell kit. It was a Chevy step side. I don't know if it was like what year was it? I think it was a 65. It has a green Chevy step side,
Oh
a
yeah,
truck.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
65, 66, something like that.
yeah, and I remember, like, I bought one copy, and then later
Hmm.
I'd go back to the store and I'd see another one, and I'm like, "Oh, maybe I'll buy another one,"
Hmm.
and just an excuse, like, to buy another one, and I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't because then later when I started to build that car, it was fun, but then I started having a lot of problems with it. And I was
Hmm.
like, "Yeah, nah, the momentum just died on this one," and I ended up getting rid of it later, but I was like, "Man," and it wasn't that it was a bad kit, it was more my mistake when I was, like, sanding it, because
Hmm.
especially the hood, the hood
Hmm.
is not just one solid piece. It's like
No, it's
the
multiples.
top
Yeah.
part, the side parts, and then another, like, front part, and it's
Yep.
supposed to have, like a curve, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
when I glued everything, I ended up sanding too much on one side that I flattened it, and then the other one had it curved, and one side was, like, flat, so when you would put the hood on the truck, the body lines wouldn't line up. Like,
Yep.
on one side it did. Oh, here we go again with the camera. Let me turn this off. I think 'cause, I gave it, like, a hand gesture. Every time if I give it, like, gang signs, I think it starts, like, moving because I saw a video on it, and it said, like, "Alright, if you do an L, it'll do
Right.
this. If you do a palm," and I don't wanna do it, but I
It's
I don't
calling you
know.
out, man.
Yeah, I ended up sanding, one side, and it was just bad, bro. It was just
Mhm.
bad, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know." And this was back then. This is, like, I don't know, 2016 at the time.
Mhm.
And it's not like I was building it to take it to a show or anything. It was just for myself, but still, I was just like, "Nah, it's not gonna happen."
Yeah, there's just some kids, man, like that they just they have certain things about them that they just don't go right, or not necessarily anything you did. It's just the kid itself, and yeah, it can be a little like, nah, I'll put it away or put it aside. Trust me, I got a bunch of projects sitting back here behind me and in the closet that kind of like that too. Like I lost momentum, lost motivation on them because of something that didn't go right or something that didn't come out right. And it's like, yeah, I'll get back to it one day, but I got plenty of other stuff I could build.
Yeah, I know. I almost feel like everyone needs to do an inventory check through their stash and set
Hmm.
aside, like, the stuff that needs love that they're not into no more. And maybe somebody else will have, something that you want, and maybe there'll be a trade or something.
Yep.
Like yo, like, I'll give you this one for that one. All right, cool. And just getting somebody else's, like, pre-started project could be exciting,
Hmm.
and be like, all right, cool. I like what you did with this model. So now I'm gonna take it and do another thing. So, you
Right.
know,
Add your own little flair to it.
yeah, yeah. So there's all these, like, different like things like that. I feel like that could probably spark up some interest.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
No, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Cause I've started doing that too. Cause I've started selling like some of my kits and stuff at some of the like local shows around here
Mhm.
and stuff, which has been fun. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. I've recently sold like a bunch of started kits that I just lost interest in, and somebody else, a couple people picked them up and like, oh wow, why'd you lose interest on this? Like, I don't know, I just did. And they
Mhm.
picked it up, and next thing I know, they're running with their ideas with it and finishing it, and it's cool. It's a cool feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Dang. Yeah, yeah, dude. It's like, you were saying earlier you said the Kansas City show.
Hmm.
Um how far is that from where you're at?
So from me, it's Overland Park, Kansas. So it's just on the inside of Kansas City, Missouri, over in Kansas, but it's about 3.5 hours from where I live.
Oh, cool. So not too far. A drive is good
Yeah,
enough.
it's just a
Shooting
straight
down there.
shot drive on Highway 70 out here, and yeah, usually about 3.5 hours. So it's not
Yeah.
too bad.
Oh, that's cool. Oh man. Yeah, and that's a pretty much annual show that goes down out there.
Hmm. Yeah, it's one of the biggest ones out in the Midwest.
Mhm.
Like I said, it's been, I think this will be the 32nd year, I think.
Dang, okay, wow.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
And
keep me posted later when you get like the flyer or whatever, like
mm,
info, right? Or anything. If there's a link, like shoot it to me. I don't know. It's something to consider, I'd want to like keep it under my radar and also, mention it and stuff for future. Cause
mm,
I've never, like, we're so used to just like going to shows here and everything. And I do want to consider other stuff out there to go to.
right.
Have you ever been to the show in Ohio, the one in Akron?
What is that? The
That's the show that that Jeff promotes. Copley.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. No,
yeah.
that show I've yet to go to. I know
Mhm.
a few people have told me that I need to get out there. Clay Kemp's been one of them, and a couple other people out here. They're like, you got to go to that, and it's one of those. It's just, it always falls on a weird like time of the year for me with other stuff going on. So I've yet to make
Yeah.
it out there, but it's on my
Mhm.
list though, for
Yeah,
sure.
I like this year, right? October was super busy, right?
Hmm.
Because it was that show, the show in Texas with Detail Junkies, and
Hmm.
then obviously the Acme show, and then I was like thinking like, man, like let's say next year, you know, I don't know if those shows line up again like that. They might, who knows? But I
Right.
was thinking like, man, how hard? I don't know, like, um, I don't know how hard or how easy would it be to be able to go, as much as like because I
Right.
believe that show is in October every year. The one in Ohio, I want to say.
I think it's the
I
early part of October, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's like a weekend thing. You
Hmm.
show up, then it's like the next day's a show, and then maybe after you fly out or the next day, boom,
Hmm.
go back home. But man, I really would want to check something out, and I did see when I was looking at Clay Kemp's like Instagram and stuff, I did
Hmm.
see he was at that one too. And I was
Yep.
going, oh man, he hits up all the shows too that are like
Well,
in that area.
Well, I was gonna say he's not that far from there because he lives in Indianapolis,
Oh,
Indiana.
okay.
So
Yeah.
that's a little closer for him. I think that's like a four or less hour drive for him to go to that show, if I'm not mistaken. But
Mhm.
for me, that drive, I think it's like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
So it's not terrible, but it's still one of those. It's like you got to make a full weekend trip out of it. It's
Mhm.
not a day and back.
Yeah.
You know, regardless of what we ever used to do with NNL West, where we went up the day and back that one time, that I don't recommend doing that to any long distance shows
Yeah,
anymore.
hell no. Damn,
You know,
that's crazy. Yeah.
but,
Um, so one time at NNL West, I went up there and with my homie Randall,
hmm,
we drove up together, right? Oh, it was the time when we were texting each other and you were like, "Hey, that I had to go around because
yeah,
it was the 101 got flooded in Santa Barbara because of the
yeah,
rain."
yep, that was
Remember the
all that big
freeway?
rain that one time.
Yeah. So that time, right? We
Hmm.
we drive up, we pull up, we get the hotel, right? And then that night's like the pizza party hangout thing. The
Yep,
next day's the show. And I remember I booked like another night in the hotel, like because I was like, you know what, we're gonna be vending, probably gonna be tired or whatever. Or I don't know, like after and then we'll chill and then we'll like Sunday we'll shoot back home, right?
right.
So I was tired, bro. Like I definitely was tired or whatever. But then, once we're back chilling at the hotel, it's like late and we're just like, man, like we could have been going home right now. Like we could have been
Hmm.
on the road. Like what are we doing, And
Yep.
and it just felt like a long night, like long afternoon, And
Yeah.
then And then the next day, it's like, all right, let's get up early. We just were like, yo, let's just get up early and let's get out of here. Like, let's just go
Mm-hmm.
home, you know? So then we just like took off. We went home. And then, because it almost felt like, man, like we overstayed. I don't know. It felt like that, right? So
Yeah.
then another time we go back and I'm thinking like, all right, I'm not booking those 2 nights. So we're only gonna just do the one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Show up, go to again the pizza thing. The next day's a show. After the show, let's go back home. Like
Right.
6 hour drive or whatever, 5 to 6. Let's just head back home. We're good. And you come out of the show, damn, hella tired. Driving halfway, I was hating it. I was like, man, I should have got that extra day. I'm all
Yep.
talking all this smack. And I'm like, oh man, got home at like midnight, almost 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Tired, dude, beat. And I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't like doing that right there.
No, it's not fun. I mean, that's like I think the one time, shoot, what was it? 2019, I think, 2018. Al and I flew into Cali Friday night,
Mhm.
and then we decided to drive up to NNL West Saturday morning for the show, and then we did the show and then drove back the same day.
Mhm.
So, you're talking 10, 12-hour round trip, and then I think that was the 1 year that the roadster show was the same weekend.
Yeah.
So we ended up, because we wanted to get back so we could do the show Sunday. But bro, we got back at like same thing you're saying, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and like 3 hours of sleep. I think a total of like 8 or 10 hours of sleep over 2 days. And that was never again.
Yeah, that was heavy, dude. I bet you when
Yeah.
you were flying back home, you were probably knocking out right there.
Oh,
Just
dude,
tired.
I was exhausted. I think it took like a couple days to recover once I got back, and
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of part of the reason why, like slowing down a little bit with the traveling too, just because, I mean, it wears you out after a while,
Mhm.
and I think last year I ended up doing, I think I counted a total of 17 shows across the country
Oh,
last year.
that's a lot of shows, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there was I think a month or two where, and my wife reminds me of this, that I was gone almost every weekend or every other weekend.
Uh-huh.
So, God bless her. She's very understanding, but
Yeah.
supports me with the hobby and stuff. But it got to a point where I'm like, man, I feel like this is like a second job almost, because I'm
Yeah.
always gone or always on the road,
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of this why I kind of toned it back a little bit this year, and like I said, next year I'll probably dial it back a little bit more. But I do plan on, like I said, the roaster show, the Left Coast Classic, Kansas City for sure, and then we've already got our stuff booked for ACME next year for Atlanta.
Oh, nice. So you too. All right. All right. I see.
Yeah, that was kind of
Sweet.
I'm not gonna say a fluke per se, but so I
Mhm.
don't know if you remember me telling you that, we were supposed to stay at the host hotel both nights, but when we got there Friday they said we need to put you at another hotel because your room got flooded out or something like
Mhm.
that.
Mm.
Yeah, apparently there was some incident that one of the other rooms flooded out, and it just happened to flood like
Yeah.
2 or 3 other rooms. I
Oh,
don't know
that
what the deal
sucks.
was, but
Yeah. Dang.
so when we came back Saturday morning for the show, my buddy went and checked in the hotel and everything, and she gave him the option to book rooms for next year already, which I don't know if they were supposed to do that or not, but we did.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome, man. That's a good way to like, to secure and have those rooms booked like we're
mhm,
set, for next year.
yeah,
When we were kicking it at the host hotel and like after, we all were kicking it with George
mhm,
after when we all like took off, like said later on to George and we bounced, we all went our own ways and
yeah,
you went back to the host hotel. What was there people still hanging out down there or nah? Or
yeah.
was
There
no
was still
deal?
a few people, not as
Oh,
packed as it
okay.
was, but
Yeah, 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 but like some at least like kicking it.
oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
definitely. And then
cool.
even after the show Saturday, after we ate dinner and stuff, and
Mhm.
everybody kind of went their own ways. We went back, and we were chilling down in the lobby with Clay and Jay Severese and all those guys for
Okay.
about an hour, a couple hours still, and then when we finally went to bed. But yeah, there was still quite a bit of people there, man. Especially after the
Dang.
show Saturday.
Oh, we missed out. Dang.
Yeah.
Look,
Well,
look,
you guys had an
Armando.
early flight though, man.
I'm all like, come on, Armando. Why do we have to go back? Nah. And Juan, everybody, we could have gone back to that hotel and hung out with everybody.
Yeah.
Um, nah, that's cool. Yeah, we had to get up early, dude. We were tired. We were already like, all right, cool. We still even though we got back, we still had to take time to like sort through all the stuff we bought, fold
Mm,
things, put stuff like repackage the luggage, make sure everything we were good to go because it was a mission, man. But it was the journey's always the fun part,
yeah.
and it was cool. Even the Uber driver we got, he was such a nice, a cool gentleman, really really talkative, like super chill. Like we were like, man, it's like we know this dude, telling us about the city and like all the nightlife over here, whatever
Right.
was going down. He was a super cool dude. So, but I was like, yeah, bro, it's time to go home. And I couldn't believe it. Once I was home, like the next day, I was like, man, I'm at home. It's like 10 in the morning and I'm here.
Hmm.
And but I was exhausted, like even after. I think I took almost like a month off from like podcasting, like
Hmm.
interviews. I wasn't doing no interviews. I was just doing my own like recap recordings on my own. But then
Hmm.
it just took me a while to get back into the groove of it or whatever. Like I was doing all kinds of other stuff, and I was like, all right, I need to like reset and get
Yep.
back, you know. And like like for yourself too, like you said, you're going to all these shows, you're doing all this stuff, and it's almost like you just got done with like Acme too, and it's just like, all right, like where do we go from here? Back to the
Hmm.
drawing board? Do we revisit OG projects that we were working on, or like you said, like you're doing the Hot Wheels, like just to get back into the groove of things. So yeah, there's
Yep.
there's a lot of things. Oh, wait a minute. See, Armando said he wasn't driving. Hey, you're right. I forgot about that. This dude that picked us up, he had his car. I forget what kind of car he had, but at some point he said, he was like, "Hey, do you guys want to check out this feature?" And the car was driving on its own, and he had his
No.
hands off, whatever.
Jeez.
And I was like, "Oh, like okay, what happens next?" I was, I was like, "Oh hell no! I hope nothing bad happens." But I don't
Right.
know. It was kind of trippy. I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah. I don't know if I would have liked that too much.
Yeah, and we hadn't even reached the city yet, so it was dark. We
Oh,
were like,
geez.
it was just I don't know where. I was like looking around. I was like, "Hey, isn't this where they did like The Walking Dead?" You know? I was like, I don't know. Like that's what people would say. I was like, what if something happens? Who's gonna come out of the woods? I don't
Right.
know. I don't know where I'm
Right.
at. I'm like,
No.
I don't know where I'm at. I'm just here. If anything, if I'm lost, I'm just gonna like lick my finger and put my finger in the air to see what direction the wind is hitting. Where do I go? You
Yeah.
know? I was like,
Well,
man.
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you what, man. If you come out for the Heartland show, bro, just fly out to St. Louis, man, because I'm only like 30 minutes from the airport, bro. So I,
Okay.
I I can pick you up and we can cruise out there. But just don't get in an Uber and go to downtown St. Louis because that
Mhm.
yeah, that you're talking about like The Walking Dead. Like, where am I? Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
you'll
All
feel
right.
like that down there.
Yeah, yeah. Don't go that way. All right.
No, don't you end up on the east side of the river, bro? You're in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we were saying, man, if we were like, we have everything planned out, but once we arrive to the airport,
Hmm.
how are we gonna get to the hotel now? We didn't have that plan yet. But
Right.
then, I mean, we got the Uber and everything that was sorted. But we were joking. We were saying we were gonna like hitchhike, and we are gonna do all this stuff to try to get over there. But yeah, we managed to get over there pretty safe. You
Yeah,
know?
it's always like you said, the journey is always the fun part, man. That's
Yeah.
I always enjoy flying to places and everything else. And once I'm there, it's like, okay, cool. But I really have a lot of fun getting there and then getting back home. It's just
Mhm.
something about it. I don't know. I've always traveled even when I was a kid, so it's like it's like second nature to me, and it's always been fun.
Yeah.
you know.
That's
But
awesome, man.
going back real quick, I want to say something about that Heartland show. So one thing, if some people may or may not know, it's actually a 2-day show. So
So it's
it's
like Saturday
yeah,
and Sunday, or okay.
Saturday, Sunday. So the way that it works is so Saturday you enter your is when you do your entry. So they have it set up from 2 to, I think it's 2 to 7 in the evening, and you set up your models. There's no vendors there at that time. They're still setting up for Sunday. But you put out all your models. You can take photos. You can be there till 7 till they kick you out, whatever. That's usually when I take a lot of photos. But they actually end up judging everything overnight
Mm,
with nobody there.
yeah.
So they do the judging, and then they come. And then Sunday, the show opens up at 9 o'clock like a normal show. All the vendors are there. They're open. You go wander around, take photos of the models, do whatever. All the judging's done, and then at 3 o'clock they do the awards.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's different. It's unique, but it's kind of cool because I don't know. Me personally, at a judge show, I don't like standing around watching my people judge my models. So it's kind of nice. You don't have to worry about it. Once you leave.
Yeah.
So
Nice. So you don't get to see like when you see them grab the models with their hands and go like that. And then put it
oh
down.
man.
Nah. Nah, I hear about that. I don't think I've ever witnessed it, but I think I saw like a photo somewhere on a thread or something. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, I was like, okay, it does exist.
Yeah, that I know which photo you're talking about. I wasn't at that show, but it's from one of the national shows earlier this year, and I think there was another one from a couple years ago. But
Mm,
unfortunately, it does exist. I've seen it happen in person.
yeah.
I won't. I don't feel proud to say that I've been on the receiving end of that, as far as
Mhm.
somebody picking up my car,
Yeah.
which wasn't fun and almost resulted in somebody's casualty. But
Yeah, yeah. Oh man.
but yeah, unfortunately, it does exist.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah.
not luckily not as much as you would think. But I will say the judges at Heartland Nationals are very professional. Like I said, they've been doing it for 30 plus years.
Mm,
It's a whole organization they got it down to a science, and the way they run their show, it's really really cool. I mean, it's a different experience, but it's also more relaxed experience because you do your registration Saturday. You're not having to worry about, hey, let me go look at the vendors, let me go check this out. You just put your models out and you talk to people, you take photos of everybody else's stuff that they're putting out, and
mhm.
it's just laid back. And then Sunday, yeah, okay, I already took all the photos I wanted to of models, or hey, there's new ones here that we left at a certain time, they came in after, but then you have all the time to look at the vendors, and
Nice.
you're not stressing about nothing else. So
Mhm.
it's really cool, bro. Like I said, I really highly recommend it for one of the travel shows for you or for anybody else, honestly.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I gotta check that out. Do a lot of them have like Facebook pages for this stuff too?
So yeah, so it'd be under KC Slammers.
KC Slammers. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'll put
the club that puts on the Heartland Nationals. I also too, I'll do you one better with that. I have some flyers and stuff for it. Not with me here at the moment, but I'll shoot them to you. The dates and everything, and
Mhm.
it's got all the categories and classes. It's got all the info on it. I'll shoot that to you, and
Yeah.
that way you have it.
Sweet. No, thank you,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, it's no problem.
that'd be good to know. Everybody, if you're on Instagram, check out Wes at Wes_S_scale builds. Right there. We got the banner rotating right
Yes,
there, real quick.
yes,
Man, that's
sir.
cool, dude. That's super cool. Well, hey Wes, man, this was fun, man. It was fun catching up with you. Um,
Always.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with in the future, and also for next year, man, when you come down for the Roadster show. I mean, it's not that far away,
No.
December is right around the corner, and then it's January, and bam. So more, I'll be plugging in more info on that on the Roadster Show, just in case if somebody's interested in coming out to that out there. I think if no one's ever gone to that, it'd be pretty dope to come out to that right there. That's one for sure. I'll most likely go live there too. I want
Hmm.
to bring out the camera, go live, record some stuff for those that can't make it also, and just kind of show some of the stuff there and the models. I think it'd be pretty cool right there.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely,
man.
man.
And also, Wes, thank you also for always posting photos of the shows when you go, because you do take a lot of photographs, and you do provide a lot of content on your end as far as sharing models from builds from people and everything out there. And that right there helps a lot of people too that can't make it, and they get to see. And people always feel good too to see their car, like, oh look, somebody posted my car on there.
Hmm. Yeah, no, no problem. Again, shout out to everybody that are, you know, posts on that appreciate me posting them, because that's why I do it for. And the one, for people that can't come out, but just to showcase everybody's builds, and at least I try to get everything at shows, but obviously at like Acme, when you got 1,000+ models, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
But I try to post as much as I can when I go to shows, and just to give everybody that experience if they can't come out and see some of the cool stuff, and maybe even inspire them to come out, the following year or some other time.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's cool, man. Well, hey, man, it was cool talking to you, and also shout outs to everybody in the chat. There was a lot of people that were commenting in the chat, and shout
Definitely.
outs to all you guys that are in there. Tomorrow, Thanksgiving. Hope everybody enjoys the time with their family or with their significant other, whoever you're with. Even if you're just chilling and you got your little sidekick, whether it's your dog, your cat, whatever, man, a bird, a fish. It's all good, man. Just enjoy. I know there's going to be a lot of guys going live too on YouTube, doing live build offs. I wonder if on Facebook, I'm not sure, but tune into those too. Tune into
Hmm.
those, and there's going to be a lot of activity. So, everybody enjoy safe travels as well. And
Yes,
we'll
definitely.
see everybody soon. All right.
Definitely.
All right,
Yeah.
guys. So, peace out, everybody. Later on.
Yes, sir.